As always, the angle is always so bizarre, and then this shit gets cut off whenever I post it on YouTube, so I don't know what the fuck. If anyone wants to tell me what angle they're seeing, because I see shit like super cut off, and I mean, come on TikTok, let's get it together. So as some of you might notice, I had posted about Cutwater lime, and if I posted something about Cutwater, odds are fucking live stream is happening with the Cutwater. So if you, I don't even know how to do a poll. I had to like Google how to do a poll on TikTok stories, and I still couldn't figure it out. It's all good though. I ain't tech savvy and I ain't pretending to be. We do things mentally, so whoever's meant to be here, you know, you're already here. So I just wanted to let you know I went through with the Cutwater lime. Now this was a can that I seen in Trader Joe's, and it was like a big, he was like a big, I don't have him because I can't even finish. So I have half of them in here mixed with my fizzy raspberry lime sparkling water, and I have the other half in the fridge. But he's a big joint, like he a thick can, and it still says the same amount of alcohol, which is 12.5%. But I've never had the lime one, so I want to wait. I didn't even give it a test sip. I want to experience this on the live stream, so I'm gonna do a test sip. Again, this is not pure Cutwater. This is Cutwater with raspberry lime seltzer mixed in. So let's see how it goes. Not as sweet as the mango one, okay, but it tastes kind of similar. And apparently this has tequila and triple sec in it, so I guess we're gonna see, because this is like half of the joint, and then I have the other half for either later today or tomorrow. I don't fucking know, but there is no way, because I'm such a lightweight, that I'm gonna finish that whole can right now. So we're just gonna see. We're just gonna, you know, take it as it resonates. But anyway, so what I wanted to first discuss here, number one, is you can see the beautiful title, although I don't know how you guys see the live stream titles, but I entitled it Saturnalia, with the emoji of the planet Saturn, which by the way is the only planet emoji that they give. Like, of course they give the Earth one, fine, whatever, but of all the planets, Saturn is the only one. And if any of you have heard that theory about the Saturn matrix, that's interesting. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway, so the planet Saturn is very important because during this time of year that many in the US and maybe across the globe are celebrating the Christmas time, really comes from the pagan festival of Saturnalia. Okay, and this basically went on from, you know, roughly like 6 days in December, 6-7 days. And it was a festival in ancient Rome where they would party in the streets and give gifts to people, and they would, you know, dance around and get drunk, and all in worship of the planet Saturn, which they thought was the sun at that time. And this is why we have Christmas. So I'm just letting you all know that in case you didn't know. What is up, Jane? Thank you for joining. So in case you all didn't know, that's where, you know, everyone's beloved Christmas time comes from. Also Santa, by the way, I don't know, this one might get super occult, but it still has to do with reality co-creation. Santa, if you rearrange the letters, it spells Satan, doesn't it? Interesting. And what is Claus? Santa Claus. Oh snap, Claus means a binding agreement, doesn't it? Oh shit, Santa Claus, Satan Claus. Okay, cool. But we also know that Satan is, you know, it just means adversary. It doesn't mean anything evil or nefarious. It's just you've been programmed to believe that Satan means something evil and nefarious. So I'm just, you know, I'm here to let you know that before you jump to conclusions about things, do your research about the quote history of it. Okay, so this is why during this Christmas holiday season, okay, deck the halls with boughs of holly, and that Christmas song. Druid priests used to use holly trees, and they would conduct their rituals using wands of holly, which is why Hollywood and in LA, Hollywood, right? It's like magic and movie star, and then, you know, it's like from the Druid priests using the holly wand in their rituals. And also, so interesting. My thoughts are escaping me because, you know, I think so fast. Exactly, Atlas. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, 666. Nothing to be frightened of, friends and neighbors. 666. The mark of the beast just means that that's what the human vessel is composed of, the carbon-based life form, okay? 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. It's not scary. It's just the number of flesh, of earthly things, okay? So y'all got to start doing some research and wondering why we celebrate these holiday seasons, why we do the whole Hollywood movie star thing with the Druid priest rituals from the Hollywood tree and their wands. And then we also go into, like, you know, if we want to think of stars, Lucifer, you know, he's purported to be the bright and morning star, which Jesus in the Bible, Jesus also refers to himself as the bright and morning star, just like Lucifer. So, I mean, are they the same thing? Well, I don't know, man. That's up to the eye of the observer. But the stars, morning star, Lucifer, in Latin, basically means morning star, which is associated with the planet Venus, the planet of love. Then you have these Hollywood stars, okay? Luxury, lux, the light, Lucifer, light, lux, okay? It just means that you are shining brightly, you want a life of luxury, and, you know, I mean, I don't see that there's anything wrong with that, but, you know, a lot of people, especially, you know, in like, Christianity, and no shade if you're Christian, you know, I appreciate and I respect all religions, because that's your beliefs. It's not my belief, but especially with Christianity, as I come from the Roman Catholic cult that attempted to indoctrinate me. The whole reason you're celebrating Christmas is because it's a pagan festival. That's all. So, that being said, we want to honor the planet Saturn in this Saturn matrix, because Saturn, astrologically speaking, is also the planet of time. Saturn matrix, if you think about it, what does the 3D not have in common with ethereal realm pursuits? The concept of time. Saturn is associated with time, so it's a Saturn matrix where you're put in a vessel to experience time in a physical vessel, but time doesn't really exist in the ethers, but you understand that it's a matrix, and all of the ideas that you were programmed with, for the most part, I don't want to say all, but I mean, you know, for the most part, your ideas were programmed based off of belief systems that you're running on time and religious beliefs. And Christmas is very, in my opinion, overrated. See, I personally don't celebrate holidays, like, and I can appreciate when people do, and I'll be like, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you got going on. I'm cool with it, because you cool with it. Me, I don't celebrate nothing. If anything, I celebrate Saturnalia, because that's what it was based on, if we want to go to the root. And I talk about going to the root, even with, like, belief systems. So the ultimate belief system, it says 4 people are peeking in, try introducing yourself. Well, I won't try. I'll be like, hey, ego sumaculus, my big titties. What's up? How you doing? So if you guys want to join the chat, we're talking about occultism and how you know, you can make your life better by understanding that everything that you've been taught is a belief that you must accept is true, but things aren't always what they seem, okay? How do you celebrate Saturn? That's up to the individual, but personally, for me, I celebrate Saturn because the day of the week, Saturday, which that makes sense, doesn't it? Saturn, Satur, right? I do my best to work on the day of Saturn, which is Saturday, which everything is upside down and backwards, right? Which is why even Stranger Things, they talk about the upside down, because this matrix is upside down. Even your eyes, you're perceiving things, but the image that you're taking in your eyes, purportedly scientifically speaking, and oh, we trust scientists, don't we? They say that you're not even seeing things accurately, you're seeing things upside down as an optical illusion, so take that as it resonates. But you celebrate Saturn by doing your best work, by giving your best performance on Saturday, which is what I do. So I was actually, hey LM, glad to see you in the chat again, welcome back. So how to honor the day of Saturn. And again, I believe in astrology. If you don't, it can go back into even deeper esoteric teachings, as I just mentioned, but you know, you don't feel obligated to have to do anything. But since you asked, I would do my greatest work on a Saturday, because the rest of the days of the week, right, it's like Sunday is like purportedly like the day of rest and shit like that, according to like Christianity. So you do your work on Saturday, and then you rest. The rest of it is like the Sabbath, right? And this is what they talk about even with manifestation, you know, the 7 days and the Lord chose to rest. So I don't consider that, because remember the Bible, in my opinion, as I use it as like a manifestation guidebook, not necessarily as a religious text, the Bible, which I just channeled yesterday, which was interesting, is that what they mean by 7 days and the 1 day of rest is that you're working hard, you're building up that energy. It doesn't have to be necessarily for 7 days and for 6 days on the 7th day you rest. So you want to think of it more symbolically. You charge up the energy of what you want, you think about it, whatever the case, you imagine it, you visualize it, and then you just relax and you enjoy the Sabbath and you let it go. Okay, and that's how your manifestations come to you, because it's like a give and take. It's like there's energy all over the place, and we call it masculine energy, and we call it feminine energy, and we call it conscious mind, and we call it subconscious mind. This has nothing to do with a physical gender or how someone identifies as a gender. This is just, I'm speaking strictly by energy, okay? Masculine energy, conscious mind. You decide what you want, you declare, right? Boom, okay? Subconscious, feminine energy. You're open to receiving. That's all it is. So the best thing you can do to honor Saturn, me personally, when Saturn Day comes around, I'd like to take this time, because Saturn is time, isn't it? And I take this time, and then I get high, and then I think about the things that I want, and I visualize, and I go into it. And if any intrusive thoughts come up, I observe them, and it's kind of like an audit. I do my own audits, like they speak of in Scientology. If you've ever read Dianetics, which that's a great book, and again, Scientology, they consider that a religion. I personally do not resonate with any religion, but I can see good and perceive not good in all of them from my perception. So with Scientology, what I agree with is the auditing of the mind. And this is what I do when I get high. Hi. Not cut water, but you know, little Farmer's Almanac type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So what I like to do, I do an audit, and I think about the things that I want. And then if a thought that shows up, it's causing like a constrictive emotion, something anxiety inducing or fear or doubt, whatever, I observe it and I say, I'm working for myself right now. So this came up and I'm auditing my mind because it's Saturn Day, and you know, I do my greatest work on Saturn days. And I had to say, rest assured, I don't want to go out on fucking Saturday. I'd rather go out on a random Tuesday, because ain't no motherfucker gonna be around. I don't want to go outside when there's be a whole bunch of motherfuckers. So that's why I like staying in and working on Saturn days. But I do the audit. You start doing an audit of your thoughts. That's a great idea. Yeah. Oh, it really, it's so amazing. Like once you understand that you're not your thoughts and you're able to observe them from like that perspective, you're like, oh shit, this is what's going on. So I think about the things that I want. And if something that a thought comes up and it produces an emotion that's unpleasant, the emotion is the tool. I'm not to take that personally either. And the emotion is saying, no, that's going against your God self. So take heed of this emotion. What is that thought saying about a belief that you have or a story that you have, which is kind of the same thing, whatever. And then I'll be like, okay. And then I don't do shit. I breathe through it, just like I tell everyone. I don't do shit. I don't try to fight with it. I don't try to, oh, you gotta go. No, I'm just like, this is a thought, but this is not who I am. So what is this thought telling me? And then I will analyze it, and then I will unpack it. And this, you might think this is taking hours, but for me, you know, time doesn't exist. So this is probably going on in less than like 5 minutes. And I'm like, oh, that's what that's telling me. Okay, get that belief out of here, moving on. Get that belief out of here, moving on. Okay, and I do that, and I let the thoughts just flow. And that's really what the flow state is, because the thought will present itself. No matter how enlightened you are, the more enlightened you are, you're still gonna be, you know, maybe receiving some of these thoughts that are unfavorable, but they're not gonna cause that emotional reaction in you. You'll just be like, yeah, whatever. And then when a thought no longer causes an emotional reaction within you, that's how you know you have let that belief system and that story go. Okay, so that's very important. So if anything is causing me any type of emotional charge that I don't much care for, I observe it and I say, okay, thought, thank you for showing yourself. I must believe this, or there must be something in there that constitutes why this emotion is signaling that I'm further away from my God self. And then I go in and I say, okay, what would be the opposite of this? What do I really want? Okay, that's it. And then that's what I do. And that's how I work. And that's, you know, I'm not saying I do it every Saturday, because I don't. But the days that I'm going to do any type of work, I mean, even though it's not work, because I'm jamming to music the whole time, not having a good time, but if I'm going to do anything like in terms of that, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take audit of the thoughts. Okay, what's going on here? No, dump, no, dump, no, dump, clear the cache, clear the cache, clear the cache. And how you do that is you don't fight with the thought. You don't fight with it, because then you just, you try to be gangster to a thought, my dude? Like, where is it? Like, you fighting with it. That shit to me seems like insanity. So you're just going to let the thought tell you what it's telling you. Okay, there must be a story in here that my ego believes is true. All right, let me let it go, because it ain't serving me. And that's all you have to do, you know? Schizophrenia is kind of beneficial by showing me your mental reflection before it manifests. I mean, the things that I have read about schizophrenia, to me, in my non-degree having, I'm not a psychologist, you know, just my personal non-professional opinion, schizophrenia, all it is, it's you're tapping into other dimensions and timelines. That's all it is. It's not like, what is that? You're seeing things that aren't there, but they are there because you're seeing them. So how are they not there? Everything comes first in your fucking third eye before it can be presented to your two physical eyes. You know what I mean? How does being a Capricorn relate to Saturn? Is there anything special about being ruled by Saturn? I mean, there's a lot of special things being ruled by Saturn, but you know, you have to look at it from a positive angle, because I don't want to sway your opinion, but anything that you read about Saturn and Capricorn, just take the positive from it. Don't look at anything negative, because Saturn, Capricorn, it's like, oh, they have a work ethic and they're, what is that word they say, dour? They say that word, oh, they're serious and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, dude, that means that you know what you want and you stick to your goals. So you can't, no matter what you're reading about Capricorn, you only take the positive. Just like I'm Aries sun, I have a stellium in the 10th house, so I might as well be an honorary Capricorn. I'm like, I'm not letting that shit deter me. Like, and me being serious about anything, that's fucking wild as shit, but I do see it play out. So if there's anything about Capricorn, you have to just give it the most positive spin to whatever you see fit. So Capricorn's strength, Capricorn is the only sign that gets to have 2 years, right? Because December, January, the year changed by the, I forget which one, I always get them confused, by the Julian, no, it's the Gregorian calendar, which it would still be in the Julian calendar either way, but it doesn't matter. But that's what I first started. I was talking about Christmas in the, I want to look this up now. I want to look this up. because I always get them confused, and I don't know why, because I've studied this so much, but I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's semantics. But hold on, I don't want to put Julian calendar was Julian calendar, but the Gregorian is a refinement of the Julian calendar. Oh my God. Dude, which one came first? I can't even tell, but I'm drinking cut water. Why do we change from Julian to Okay, so the Julian calendar was the OG calendar. Okay, thank you so much. I'm glad you know that. Okay, so Julian calendar, the days were different. Okay, which time doesn't exist because there are some countries where it's not even the year that we say is 2025, right? In some religions, they say it's a different year. So time doesn't exist. But basically, Julian calendar, the feast of Saturnalia was December 20th, which would equate to December 25th, but it was December 21st, the solstice, which is today, okay? The solstice, the shortest day of the year. And if you're familiar with Stonehenge and all of that, I think the Druids had a hand in that, but I'm not sure. How like the sun was immediately in the center of the Stonehenge buildings, monuments, I don't know what the fuck you want to call them, right? So it was that day that it was the shortest daylight of the year, but then it just equates to this time now in the Gregorian calendar to December 25th, okay? And that's why you celebrate the whole thing, the Son of God. Why do they call Jesus the Son of God? Occultism 101, the Son of God, Son. They thought Saturn was the sun in ancient times. The resurrection of the sun, December 21st. Jesus' birthday. That's all. That's all it was, roughly. Okay, and of course, I'm sure there's more details, but I mean, you know, that's basically what it is. So, why did they program motherfuckers to like do all of this shit? Like, you gotta buy presents, you gotta do this, and my dude, I'm supposed to believe that a virgin who was 14 years old, mind you, which in today's standards, that would look a little fucking shady. A 14-year-old gives birth to a fucking... My dude, what is going on here? But we all know the Bible. They got some freak nasty shit up in that bitch. So we don't look at the Bible literally because that's just getting a little cray-cray, okay? So a 14-year-old virgin had an immaculate conception, gave birth to the Son of God. Are we supposed to believe that? It came from pagan tradition about the worship of Saturn because they thought Saturn was the Son of God, and they thought that Saturn was the sun that was giving them life. They didn't know that the sun was a separate entity, or maybe they did, and that part, you know, I'm just going by what I've read. But was I there? No. Maybe in a former vessel, sure, but that's all I can go by research. So, I agree with that. Religions take pieces from the occult. Fuck yeah, they do. Christmas trees and gifts are stolen from pagans. Yeah, because if you think about the pagan holidays, like, and I never know how to say this. I don't follow pagan. I don't follow any religion. I can respect if someone else does. I don't care. That's on them. But I don't follow paganism either. I just look at what's in front of me. Okay. But the Easter, I don't even, because I know that they say it a particular way, okay? That right there, the Easter bunny and all this shit, like, my dude, that's all taken from paganism. Halloween, All Hallows Eve, that's taken from paganism. Even May Day, okay? The May 1st, paganism. All of that. The summer solstice is taken from paganism. So religious things and the solstice, the days of the calendar, it's all taken from paganism because that was what was there before, okay? And this is even before the Bible was written. So this is where I'm going into, like, yes, I personally I'm like, okay, the Bible is a great tool, in my opinion, for like understanding metaphysical concepts from a metaphorical perception. You don't want to read it literally or religiously. That's just my opinion. But there was a whole realm going on even before that. So the Bible is like an adaptation of that, just like the Epic of Gilgamesh. Okay, it has similar stories in there about Noah and the flood. So all of it's just tradition, right? But then, what they did in like capitalism was they said, okay, Christmas, we're going to say that's this, and we're going to make you go out and fucking spend money, and you have to run around and do all this shit. And like, to me, I'm just like, I've never been a fan of the holidays. Okay, no, like literally, unless it's like specific to the person, like someone's birthday or an anniversary. Hey, Ashley, thank you for the gift. Thank you for joining. Good to see you. Long time no see. So I've never been a fan of holidays, and I never could pinpoint why. I'm just like, why is everyone doing the same thing? Why is everyone like what? It was just weird. I like Halloween too. I do, but it's just. I don't know. I always like spooky shit. So, I mean, that could be it. But yeah, it still comes from paganism. They say Halloween is like purportedly the day where the veil is thinnest in betwixt worlds. But I mean, whatever. Okay. I'm like Christmas, but everyone is doing that. Even Thanksgiving, like, I don't know how many of you here in the United States, so whatever, but Thanksgiving in the United States, it even sat wrong with me because I'm like, these settlers came, took over the land. This, as the story goes, I wasn't there, so I don't know, maybe it's another fairy tale, but this is a story they're going with the United States. The settlers came from like England, I think. I don't even fucking know because I don't give a shit. They came from England, and there were Native Americans living here. And then they tried to hijack the land from the Native Americans, and Thanksgiving is like, oh, they got along. What is fabulous about that? Like, you good? Like you want to celebrate someone else's land getting hijacked and they made peace? Like, I don't know. I mean, whatever. I'm just, you see, I've never been on board with that shit. I've never been on board with a lot of those things. Or like, even like the New Year's thing. Oh, New Year, what year even is it? You ask different people, they gonna tell you different things. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, and the whole thing with holidays, New Year, new me, and motherfuckers, yeah, join the gym. It's, if you've ever watched the movie They Live, it explains a lot. Okay, it really, really explains a lot. You know what I mean? You have to like look at everything. They funded the wars and rumored to be pretty damn evil. They're proud of it too. Holidays just feel too performative. Yeah, Ashley, I agree with that, because it's like, the thing with that, Ashley, that's a great comment. Thank you. The thing with that is like, it's a performance, because, the world is a stage, as my boy Shakespeare says, all the world's a stage, blah, blah. Okay, right? But think about it, okay? Some motherfuckers, they don't even get along with their family, but they're like, oh, I gotta be cordial. I'm the outcast at Thanksgiving or Christmas, but I have to go. Bitch, you don't have to do shit. Just because someone is blood related, quote, quote, does that mean you have a vibe with them? Does that mean you resonate with them? I never thought that was true either. You're blood related to someone, my dude, they could be NPCs. You could be the only awakened individual. You're going to get along with them. And I'm not saying this is the case, and people that love their blood relative, I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about the ones that don't, and they feel obligated that they have to do something because they're a blood relative. You don't have to do shit. Oh, this is when families get together. My dude, what if you have a close circle of friends and that's your family? Like, I don't know. For me, it's very stereotyped. You know what I mean? Do you think we can manifest religion away? I mean, I think you can manifest anything. I mean, but I do want to say it has to start with you. So if you don't want to hear mention of any type of religion, you have to get it solid within you first, that there is no such thing as religion. because it all comes from you. So it's not like if me and the homies agree that we're going to do this, you know what I mean? You have to get that solid within you. And then what's going to happen is that you're going to stop seeing evidence of a religion because you're not in resonance with that anymore, you know? You always resonate with me. That can be a crazy topic for some. Oh, well, all love. Thank you. I'm glad you resonate. Thank you for joining the chat. But yeah, the thing with me is that, like, where I'm coming from about religion is that I've spoken to many people with many different religious backgrounds, and it's never been an issue. It's never been an issue. And I always tell them, I'm not religious, but I'm open to hearing what you have to say because I'm accepting that they are. I'm not trying to force my beliefs on them. You see what I'm saying? So for me, I can talk about religion with anyone, but I'm not going to come at it like combative and say this or that. I'll be like, oh, so tell me what you think, because I don't care. So that's how checked out I am with the whole religious thing. So you have to kind of check out of it mentally first and be like, you know what, it doesn't matter. But if you don't want to see evidence of something, you're going to omit that from your consciousness, then it has no choice but to play out, you know? You just feel like it's getting involved in politics too much. What, religion? I mean, I don't know what's going on in other countries. I can say maybe from the United States perspective, I can see that because a lot of times the United States, you know, in politics, they'll be like, oh, this is a Christian nation or something. And I'm like, the Native Americans that were here before the British came through were not following Christianity. They were more, I don't know anything about, like, you know, Native Americans of North America. I don't know anything about their religious beliefs, but I think from what I've known, they were more in a paganism where there's different gods of different things. They just kind of accepted this, you know what I mean? It was more like a spiritual practice. So it's not a Christian nation. Christians maybe came through and tried to, you know, indoctrinate, but it's not a Christian nation as far as I'm concerned, because who was here originally, they weren't following Christianity. You know what I mean? You've never been able to get into politics. Yeah, politics is something else that is like programmed, like this is this way, that is that way. And then it's also, it's like, it's not inclusive, it's divisive, right? So then you see people and they're like, oh, I can't talk to this family member because they voted for this person. I'm like, really? Like, you can't, like, you see, because I wouldn't, bro, I don't care who anyone voted for. You could vote for the fucking roach in the corner. I don't care. If they, okay, what does that have to do with me? Nothing. But, like, it has nothing to do with me. So I don't know. The thing, politics or distraction, it's, you know, it can be another show, because anything that you're seeing or anything that I'm seeing or anything that's out there, celebrities, politicians, it's a stage, right? And the media is giving it to you to look at, and in my opinion, it's a form of entertainment. So it's like you're taking the movie seriously, but it's like Beavis and Butthead. Like, why are you taking it seriously? It's for entertainment, you know what I mean? And it's meant to divide. Like, just like even I don't know, I'm from New York, so the Yankees and the Red Sox fucking beef. Like, what the fuck was even that? Like, you know what I mean? Oh, well, this is my team and I like that. Bro, it's your team? Are you getting paid? What the fuck are you paying to be here, to be a spectator? You care so much. Like, make that make sense why you care what a team is doing. So all of these things, religion, politics, sporting events, whatever, okay? It's all meant to divide. And there's this quote that I saw, and I don't know where it came from, but I don't even know if this is a real thing that happened. Basically, it was like some dude, and he had like a jar, and it was like full of ants. And it was like black ants and red ants. And then they were just chilling peacefully. But then the guy, he shook the jar. And then the ants had no idea what was going on. And they all started fighting with each other. The black ants against the red ants. Because they were like, what, yo, you did this? Nah, you did this. Like, they were all warring with each other. But they didn't even notice that it was some dude shaking the jar to try to get them to be combative with each other. So that's kind of, you know, my thoughts on all of this stuff. It's like, you believe in that, I don't care. As long as you're not trying to force your beliefs on me. Because I don't force my beliefs on anyone. Because, you know, there have been instances where I'm talking to people and they're like, well, I don't know if we create our reality. I'm like, okay. I'm not going to try to force you because I don't give a shit. I don't care. My dude, I'm doing me. So if you don't believe that you create your own reality, you're going to keep getting evidence that you don't. But like, some people bring it into romantic relationships. What do they bring into romantic relationships? Religion? I don't know. I mean, romantic relationships to me, like, I have to say, if someone was super into religion or politics or so, like, I would just be like, my dude, we're not going to have anything in common. So I wouldn't even go for someone like that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like when you are knowing that you create your own experience, then you either say, okay, my partner's open, accepting to everything I do, either that or it's not mentioned. I don't know. Like, I feel like two people that are arguing over something third dimensional, like religion or politics, they're in a relationship, that's just where their mind is at. They don't see past that. And nothing wrong with that to them, but I mean, if we know that we're conscious creators and we know that we're creating our experience, you have to just intend that someone who is in resonance with you is going to show up. You can change anything. Absolutely, all love. Do you think aliens are on Earth? That's interesting. I mean, that I think we are the aliens, and that's all I'm gonna go with that for now, because it's just, you know, this whole thing that they've been talking about, again, in the United States, I don't know other countries, whatever, but in the United States they've been talking about this shit, about all these alleged alien sightings now, 3-Eye Atlas or whatever the fuck, and I see that and I scroll past, but I'm like, what is going on here, my dude? And no one gives a shit. Because we are the aliens. Because think about it, like, we have this consciousness that is so advanced because we can literally create things with our minds, but yet we're programmed to believe that we're stuck in these humanoid vessels. But the alien technology was never sci-fi. It was never something far-fetched. And this is my personal opinion, I have nothing to back this up, but this is what resonates with me. You want to look at the pyramids in Egypt. You want to look at all the 7 wonders. And there's some, I think it's in India, there's this building and it's so intricate. And it has like all these different people like carved into it. You have the Cologne Cathedral in Germany. You have all of these structures that were purportedly built hundreds or thousands of years ago. How did they do that? So I'm like, there has to be some capacity of mind that orchestrated that. But it was programmed when Rockefeller took over the school systems. Don't quote me on a date. At least, and again, I'm only speaking from the United States, because that's all I know. I can't speak for other countries, and I'm not going to. But in the United States, Rockefeller took over like the school system, and then he had all of these things just like programmed. You have to learn this, you have to learn that. But it's like, how were the pyramids created? And I'm thinking the alien technology is the science of mind, telekinesis. So whoever it was had that ability, okay? And if the structure is on Earth and we're on Earth, we also have that ability, but we have been programmed to believe that we have a limit. This is why the whole thing with TV, again, the United States, okay, in the 50s or the late 40s, I don't fucking know. I'm not super astute on dates, but it was like the CIA came through and was like, let's conduct an experiment. Television, right? Television. So they're showing you a vision. What is that? What do? We visualize. So you're getting inundated. buy this, buy that, do this, do that. This is how it's supposed to be. And it's a program. And why they call it a television program, right? So you're programmed by books in the indoctrination camps. You're programmed by religions. You're programmed by caregivers who didn't know any better. You're programmed by TV, by media, okay? You're programmed with all of these things. So you're not sitting there thinking, well, how were the pyramids constructed? Because it seems very strange that like cultures thousands of years ago were able to build these massive monuments, and now we have all of these houses that look the same and they're cheap and whatever, right? Not all of them, but you know, the building material is cheap. It's not, I mean, 100 years from now, I don't know what houses would still be standing and be structurally sound unless they were renovated. You know what I mean? So you have to look at it like that. The alien technology, we are the aliens, but we forgot that we were aliens because that's part of the program. And the alien is, it's foreign. It's not identifiable because you can't identify how you created something with your mind. It's intangible. And that's like the realm of miracles, what they want to say in religion. That's in like sci-fi, with right? All of those terms. But it's alien technology because we are the aliens. Because we're not even the fucking human. Human being is what they call the vessel. That's not who you are. Because you can say this is the vessel. Yeah, but that's not who I am because I'm beyond that. I am beyond emotions. I'm beyond thoughts. I'm the observer. And I have the awareness that when I was thinking about a certain thing that it materialized. Oh shit, how did that happen? I must be an alien. I have magical superpowers. That's my opinion. People say we didn't create AI, we discovered it. You know what's so interesting is that I've heard individuals, even on here, saying that like humans are AI, like we're really AI and we're here to like discover ourselves and to like feel what it's like to have emotions. And I mean, I don't, you know, again, if it resonates, it resonates. But to me, I was like, oh, snap. I mean, I could kind of see that too. What do I think of climate change? Are humans going to destroy the 3D world? I personally, I mean, and this is my universe, because remember, it's my perception, it's my projection. I haven't seen any evidence of climate change that I would consider to be destructive. I'm just like, okay. And I personally don't even believe that the weather is real. I just don't. I mean, but I have a whole lot of other, like, I've been down so many rabbit holes that are even beyond manifestation, which of course you could say I'm creating that because I believe in it. But if this is a matrix, this is a video game, okay? You want to think of climate change. Let's pick that narrative, okay? So it's a program out there in the matrix for someone to latch onto. Again, divide and conquer, right? Oh, well, they're causing climate change because of this. You can stop climate change with that. It's another narrative for someone to feed into, to take away from their godliness of just being content in the moment and saying, you know what, in my universe, whatever narrative is going on out there, all is well and everything is perfect for me. Why wouldn't it be? I am the Lord and there is none else. I'm creating my own, you know, universe inside the universe, so it's not going to affect you, okay? So again, climate change is something that's coming from out there, politics out there, religion out there, okay? All of these things are coming from out there, and that's my opinion. So, you know, it's up to the individual, but that's my opinion. Every time it snows, you go, seriously, they had to do this. Oh my god, that's so crazy. You watched the movie Us earlier. Do you think that this is another parallel? I love that movie. That is a great movie. You know when I started fucking laughing? When the woman who was like the underground... Oh, spoiler alert. So I don't know. Cover your ears, anyone who hasn't seen it. But the woman that came from underground, and she confronted her, like, I guess 3D self, and she was talking like, oh, like with that voice. That's like, okay. And she was trying to be fucking scary. And then the husband was like, bitch, the fuck? Like... Cause he was like, oh hell no, I ain't having this shit today. What the fuck? Like, it was funny. I love that reaction. Because that would be some shit I would do. Like, if someone, like, came up like, I'm you. I'd be like, bitch, no, you ain't. Oh, my God. Okay. But yeah, the movie Us, that was a great movie. So... the parallel versions, yes, I agree with to that extent, because there are parallel versions of us living in our different timelines. Now, also the movie Coherence touches on this briefly, not as in depth as the Us version, but there are parallel versions of you. Now, of course, you're the only consciousness, you're the only observer, so you wouldn't want to be perceiving that another version of you is going to try to come in and hijack your lifestyle, right? You would just be like, okay, well, I'm the only observer from this point of awareness right now, so all of the versions of me, they're lying in suspended animation until I illuminate them, and if I illuminate them, I'm doing it for a reason that's going to serve me. That's kind of my thoughts on that. So yes, I believe that there are parallel versions of selves, because that's the way that reality, you know, kind of shows us how things are orchestrated. But I don't believe that they're going to come in and try, I'm you, like like, if I saw a version of me that rolled up and started talking like that, I think I would laugh. I'd be like, what the fuck is happening? But yeah, I do agree with that, but I don't, remember, you're the only observer, so if you're perceiving that a parallel version of you is going to try to take over, then you're only creating that, right? I'm trying to look at the comments over here. Woohoo! Today in the calendar is the first day of winter. It snowed before this day. Where did it snow? Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. I heard there were like crazy snowstorms in like certain parts of the globe, but I mean, I guess it depends, you know, because what they call winter, again, they're just doing that because they're saying that it's the shortest day of the year. Just like the longest day of the year is the summer solstice, but I don't think it really has to do anything with seasons, because in Australia and like all of the places like South America, like everything that's like south of the equator, they're experiencing summer right now. So it's like in the northern hemisphere it's one thing, in the southern hemisphere it's another thing. So you can't even go by that, right? Speaking of Australia, I'm trying to make this shit happen. I want to manifest it like in January. That's how I want to, and I want to go to the Gold Coast. Oh my God, it looks so lit. Oh, I want to stay at a high-rise Airbnb. Ooh, it's summer in Argentina. Nice. Yeah, like southern hemisphere. Like, see, it's summertime for you guys. It's wintertime over here, the first day of winter. But wait, so Divine Woman, you're in Argentina, so what do they say in Argentina? They say like the it's like the summer solstice, December 21st. Like, what do they call it over there? Because I'm curious. I don't know. I'm an American, bro. I don't know nothing aside from what we've been taught over here. You know what I'm saying? So logical mind can't understand time zones in different seasons. It's super trippy. It's super trippy because like I was seeing on TikTok, no idea. Okay, Divine Woman, no worries. Yeah, because I was seeing on TikTok, they were like in Alaska, and they were saying that it was like minus 65 degrees or some shit. I said, what the fuck? And like, there was this woman, I don't even know where this came from. Maybe because I love animals, so I look at like animals on my FYP. But she had like a team of like sled dogs. You know, the dogs that they pull the sled, whatever, in the snow. And she had to feed them. And then it was like, she's like, oh, it's minus 60 something degrees. So she went outside. And when she came back in, there was like ice all over like her fucking eyelashes and her face and everything. I was like, oh my God. And like where I'm at is not that way at all. So you want to go to Brazil in January, at least March? Hell yeah. Oh, Brazil looks so fucking lit. I want to go to the beach, the Copacabana beach. because I heard that like there's no rules there. You just like you go, you could drink, you could, and United States, I don't know, it kind of depends where you're at, but there's no like you can swim at all hours. Like there's no one watching to say you can't go in the water. You could drink, you could have a party. That shit looks so fucking fun. Hell yeah. You can't take reality serious since all those really good AI videos came out. Hey, Purple Shadow, good to see you. Oh, definitely. Like, there are times I see these videos, I'm like, I have to question, like, is that AI or is that a real thing? Like, especially videos that I see and it's like, they're talking about, like, the atmosphere. There's some videos I see, it's like, oh, we have 2 moons. And then there's, like, 2 moons in the video. I'm like, I think that's AI. Or if they say, oh, there's 2 suns. I'm like, that has to be AI. I don't know. I don't take anything seriously unless it agrees with me. So I think your core resonance with something is signaling to you like, okay, like, yeah, I'm down with this idea. You know what I mean? And like a lot of the stuff that they post, even in like occultism and like, you know what I mean? It's like you have these motherfuckers arguing, is the earth flat or round? Oh, but the firmament, bitch, I don't even give a shit. I don't give a shit. Here's a pilot proving that the earth is round. I don't care. I can't tell if the earth is round or flat. I don't know because I don't give a shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so even in those things, like those different genres of like awareness, it's like, oh, I'm awakened. The earth is flat. He like, can you prove it though? So for me, I'm like, I can't prove that we're creating this reality by our mind. I can prove it to me because of experiences I've personally had. You can prove it to you by experiences that you've personally had. But where's the proof? There's no 3D proof because there's never 3D proof for something that you know. You just know it and it resonates and it hits and you're just like, this is what it is. That's it for me. So is the earth flat or is it round? I don't know and I don't give a shit. The fuck? Like, I'm living my best life. You think I got time to fucking argue about that shit? I don't care. You know what I mean? I mean, if you think it's round, then you're going to see evidence of that, right? Because that's a story you're going with. And it's not right or wrong. It's just, it is. You know, the thing with me, with, that I do think is very interesting is, well, the story that's out there is Antarctica. Like, how come no one is allowed to go to Antarctica? Like, you're not allowed to go there unless you're supervised. That's what I think is fucking strange. No matter the earth is round, octagon, hexagon, Rubik's Cube, holographic. Why motherfuckers ain't allowed to go to Antarctica? That's what I think is a little fucking sus. But you know what? I don't care. I don't give a shit. But I've seen videos of people, and like, I would want to go to Antarctica just, you know, so I can say that I've been to like the 7 continents, like, you know, but, why are you not allowed to go there unsupervised? Like, I don't know, to me that's fucking interesting, you know, but whatever, it is what it is. Someone's, I don't know, I'm not seeing a lag, so I have no idea what is going on for anyone else. But again, like, oh, that my friend, the AI bot, he's not in the chat today. I don't think he was in my last live either, that AI bot, but he comes through sometimes. We need the AI bot in here to, like, open the discussion. Why is no one allowed to go to Antarctica? Why not? So, I don't know, we got a little derailed from the whole fucking manifestation content, but yeah, I just wanted to, like, get into that whole thing, because the whole thing with the holiday season and all of that, I'm like, man, it's still a belief. It's still a belief, just like everything is a belief, you know what I mean? And I just, I never resonated with none of that. Let's play this song. I put a different song on now. Fuck yeah. So I changed my tunes over here. So anyway, what does everyone want to chat about? I just went on here randomly for the solstice. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, Nix, that is an interesting question. Thank you. Do you think it's necessary to heal our relationship with our parents to create the 3D? No, I do not think so. However, if one thinks that that's necessary, then that's it's going to play out for them. You don't have to heal shit. Like I was saying, I don't know if you were here for the beginning of the chat, but I was like, just because someone is a blood relative, that doesn't mean that you have like a resonance with them, okay? So, I don't know if this question is pertaining to you or just in general, but if someone believes that they have to go back in time and hear their inner child and give their 5-year-old self a hug, you don't need to do that. You believe that you need to do that in order to manifest. You don't need to do shit to manifest, because the thing is already done. Now, if you want to heal your relationship with your parents, if this question is about you, for you, because it's going to make you happier, it's going to make you feel better, you can do that, but you don't need to do that to manifest. You would just do that for you. You know what I mean? Like literally. I mean, you don't need to do it. And this is why I think my the Uncanny Oculus post that I made, which is like a super AI, I think they're so fucking hysterical, because it's like whoa, like, and it's so fucking wild. But you don't need to even do shadow work, how these motherfuckers talk about. Oh, you have to go and heal your inner child. You have to figure out what's wrong with you. How about you thinking there's something wrong with you is what's wrong with you? How about that? I'm gonna just let everyone sit with that. If you think there is something wrong with you, that's what's wrong with you. That's what's wrong with you. You think that you're damaged. Why do you think you're damaged? You are the Lord and there is none else. Why the fuck would you think that about yourself? Stop it. Stop. I have to go and hug my 5-year-old self. Well, you see, your 5-year-old self belongs in a timeline that is defunct now, right? So the only one that's bringing awareness to your 5-year-old self is you now. So if you are hung up on something that occurred when you were 5 years old, then, you might want to let that go, but you don't need to do anything other than let it go and say, no, I'm going to turn my focus over here. It's very simple, but, I think a part of also, which is kind of like, everything in my chats, they seem to like, spiral, which I fucking love. We're talking about, are there aliens on Earth? It's like, our consciousness would be alien because we have the ability to move things with our mind and to create our reality just by thinking about it. But the human perspective wants answers in like a linear time, and it wants like 3D answers. So that's part of the quote problem, in my opinion, is because the humanoid ego is constantly looking for meaning. Because if there was no meaning, think about this, y'all. And I know y'all can handle it because y'all enlightened. Anyone in my chat, you all enlightened. So, if the humanoid, from that perception of the ego, is like, why are we here? There's no meaning. Nothing matters. That could be devastating to a lot of motherfuckers. I mean, it really can, because what do you mean it has no meaning? Like, think about it, okay? What is the point of this? What is the point? Everyone is going to say something different, okay? And you know what? With the interesting thing that I just researched is that, because this is what I do. This is what I get off on this. Maybe some of y'all don't, but I get off on this. So I went to different religions, and I said, what does Christianity say is the meaning of life? What does Judaism say is the meaning of life? What does Islam say is the meaning of life? The three major monotheistic religions said to serve God. Ooh. Then I went to what do Buddhists say the meaning of life is? What does Hinduism say the meaning of life is? Polytheistic, right? There's God in everything, okay? Totally different. Totally different. Okay, it didn't say to serve God. It was more like, and I don't remember exactly what it said, but it's more of like, yeah, you know, to like live and to like be happy and to, you know, like it wasn't like to serve God. So I said, whoa, there's some issue going on in there. Okay, you need to do this in your free time. I don't even know what's going on in the chat, but it would give identity crisis. No meaning is the God state. Exactly. Exactly. Because the God state just is. What is the meaning of what? I'm here, I'm consciousness. That's what it is, right? Jane is fucking lit, yo. I love when Jane be in the chat, because Jane breaks shit down, hell yeah. So it's like, if you're thinking of it from like any type of third dimensional perspective, it's trying to assign a meaning to something. What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of that, right? But, oh, was I talking for a fucking hour already? I got the puzzle piece. Oh, snap. This is why time don't exist. I got it on the first try. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Oh, shit. Love you too, Jane. You assign the meaning. Whatever you say is whatever goes. Exactly, Purple Shadow. Hell yeah. Like, there's no meaning to anything. But, like, a lot of individuals who, you know, they're third dimensionally inclined. And again, this is no shade to them. That's where they are. Okay? They're like, oh, but this means that... And they're looking for things on the outside to give them life. When there is no life and there is no death, there's just all-encompassing awareness. So when we are the awareness behind anything, there's not even any idea. There's just a state of being. Like, when you're just awareness, it's like, okay, oh, the thought of religion crossed my mind. That's cool. Oh, the thought of politics crossed my mind. Oh, the thought of this person crossed my mind. The thought of that, it's all just coming from your awareness. So for me, hey Michelle, what is up, gorgeous? Thank you for joining. Good to see you. So it's like the meaning to anything is what you assign to it. So like, okay, personally, guys, like I've been down so many rabbit holes into like occultism, metaphysics, and all of this shit, okay? And I could see connections, but like, I'm not going to tell you all that that's what it is, because that's my belief. It might not be your belief. If you're just like, I create things with my mind, that's what it is, look no further, that's all it is, okay? Me, I like going a little deep. You know what I'm saying? I like going a little deep. I like shit deep. And I like shit intense. So I'm like, oh, I found this out. Hell yeah. And then it just starts clicking for me. That reality co-creation has been talked about. It's just that you've been programmed to believe that it hasn't. Like, you know, based off of like historical records or shit. But even that, it's really just a perception, because I wasn't there when all these things were written, right? Was I there when they were writing the Kybalion? One of my favorite fucking books for manifestation. Was I there when they wrote it? No. And I have reason to believe that someone who is very dear to me had a hand in writing the Kybalion, but I have no proof, so I'm not going to say that because it would mean nothing. But I'm like, just the way that it was written, I'm like, this person must have had a hand in that, because that shit was great. Let's see. So, want to know how the world works? or the universe or whatever, you stop looking at anything third dimensional. You stop, you put a pause to it, and you're like, okay, what was going on in my mind before that thing occurred? You're going to get all your answers, and I can't prove it to you, and I'm not trying to prove it to you. This is why I tell everyone all the time, you need to experiment for yourself. What I do manifesting things, it may or may not work. You know what I mean? It may or may not work for you because you're not me. And that's beautiful. It's beautiful for you to be an individual, but what I guide you to do is to remain that individual inside the matrix, because that's how you break out of the matrix. You see million motherfuckers going this way, you go that way. And don't be afraid to do that. Oh, Monica, hey, welcome to the chat. Your SP returned after a full year of a shit story. Nice. Congratulations. Hell yeah, exactly. How can you stop self-sabotage? Self-sabotage typically happens when you don't fully believe the new story. That's why self-sabotage typically happens, okay? Because you want this thing, but you're not aligned with it. So you're holding the desire away from you instead of holding it within you. And that's why self-sabotage happens. Because you're viewing the desire as something outside. The way that I just said all these other things are outside and you're looking for answers. So you might get the thing or a little bit of the thing, but you're not calibrated to the you who has already accepted that that thing is natural for them and it doesn't feel natural. And so you're like, whoa, I got to go back to this, right? I got to go back to this. Okay, it's like you scared of that, not because you're scared of that, but because it's unknown, it's alien. So this is why you want to immerse yourself as much as possible in the desire, and you want to start telling yourself that it's safe for you to have this, it's normal for you to have this, and this is who you are. That's why self-sabotage happens. It's because you just, it's like, oh shit, like you ever hear that stereotypical story, someone wins the lotto and then they lose the hundreds of millions of dollars. You're like, how did that happen? Because they self-sabotage, because they maybe wanted the money on a surface level and they got it, but they weren't the wealthy person to keep it. So this is where the identity shifting comes in, and that's how you stop self-sabotage. It was exactly like I said, just deciding it to be as you are, as the Lord, and there is none else. Fuck yeah, Monica. Exactly. Exactly. That's what it is. All you do is fucking decide. See, look at this. We have a success story in the chat. Okay? I mean, all you need to do is just say, this is what I want. Don't get in the way of it by egoistic mind chatter. And you have the thing. And be the version of you that has the thing in every waking minute, and how you say, this is natural for me. Whatever the fuck I want, it's natural for me. I live it. I experience it. I am as it right now. And that's what the whole thing with like, oh my God. So there's different trending shit in the manifestation community. First it was like the O method, then it was the whisper method. Now it's like the I am statement, right? Which all, hey, listen, if they work, right? But you know what I am means? It doesn't mean what you think it means on a surface level. Just be the I am. Motherfucker, was it even that like, in the Bible, what we said, when Moses was talking to God, okay, which, I mean, purportedly he was tripping his balls off when that conversation occurred, just by other things, but whatever. Purportedly, allegedly, I don't fucking know, I wasn't there. But when God said, Moses, here am I, and Moses said, who do I tell my people you are? He said, tell them that I am has sent you. Okay, it doesn't mean the statement I am, right? It just means being. Who are you being? Human being God, human being the Lord, and there is none else, okay? Because you think, you have emotions, you feel, yeah, but that's not who you're being. So this is a metaphor that I like to incorporate, and it's like the CEO of the company. He has $1 million home, $12 million home, set for life. How much money does he have in the bank account? Okay, his name is Earl. I don't know where that came from, but whatever. The CEO. Okay, he has a mustache like this that curls like they did on the Titanic, and he's wearing a fedora, and his name is Earl. And I don't know, I just seen that, so I'm just go with it. So Earl is the CEO of a major successful company. Okay, he has hundreds of millions of dollars at his disposal. He has a whole bunch of tech companies. He's the CEO. He has a beautiful husband or wife or whoever Earl is into. He has his perfect partner. Okay. And he has his dream life. That's who he is. He's living it every day. Earl gets drunk at the fucking club. Earl owns the club. Why wouldn't he, right? Okay. So he gets drunk. He's hungover. And he's whatever the fuck. He vomiting in every corner of his fucking $12 million home, like the fucking Palace of Versailles, where they took shits everywhere. Cool. Look that up. That's a allegedly historical fact. Earl is so used to being the multi-millionaire CEO in his dream partnership, in his dream home, living his dream life. He's having thoughts that he don't feel well in the moment because he hungover. Is that taking away? Earl feels like shit because he has a hangover. Okay? He's thinking like shit. He's feeling like shit. It's not taking away his I am, which is his state of being. Earl is still Earl. He's CEO, multi-millionaire, successful in multiple businesses, dream relationship. He's cool. He hungover. That's fleeting. He's thinking that he should never drink like that again. He's feeling like shit. Oh man. Someone make him some Earl Grey tea, okay? For Earl, some Earl Grey tea. And his name is Earl Grey. Let's just call him that, okay? Earl is not doubting that he's the millionaire CEO and that he has his dream partner with him. He's not doubting that. He's not questioning it. He's not asking, am I really Earl? Do I really own these businesses? No, because the I am is not about the statement. It's about who he is. Who is he being? He's being Earl, who happens to be hungover at that moment, but that's not taking away his awareness from who he is. That's all the I am means. I don't know where that came from. I feel like drawing this character because he's a great character, okay? So that's it. That's it. That's all the I am is. It's not I am, like, you can affirm that. Yes, you can say I'm the, and it does summon your power back to you. But if you're not being that, if you're not living that, the thought can sway you. The emotion can sway you. Just like the hangover. I mean, maybe it tried to sway Earl, but he's so in who he is, like, but this is who I am, whatever. It's just passing. That's all it is. That's all the statement is. So it's about who you are accepting that you are, who you are knowing you are. Whisper method, method, affirmations in the closet till your fucking skin turns blue. Whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't know. But does that mean that you have truly identity shifted, just like when we talked about just now the self-sabotage? Is Earl going to self-sabotage his multi-$100 million business and his relationship just because he's feeling hungover? He's not going to do that because he knows who he is at the core. He's accepted it. And he's like, okay, whatever this is just floating by. So the I am statement that everyone's talking about, it's like the trending, whatever. That's who you're being. It's a human being. It's a human being God. God being human, okay? That's all it is. Who are you being? So you have to come back to that place of who you are and who you accept yourself to be, rather than what a thought is going to try to tell you, rather what an emotion is going to try to tell you. Because like I said in my other live, your God consciousness is fifth dimensional, thoughts and emotions are fourth dimensional, and then your ego is third dimensional. So the God consciousness can control all of those at will. And that's why they say, be still and know that I am God. I am the Lord and there is none else. So then when you come back to that, and you're like, well, who am I being right now? I'm beyond the thought. I'm beyond the emotion. I'm beyond the ego. That's it. That's it. It's not taking who you are. So in all the sectors of your experience, in my opinion, you want to do an audit, like I also said in the beginning, because we always circle back around here quite nicely. So then you go say, who am I? Who do I identify as in all the apps of my experience? Am I this motherfucker who has this? Am I the motherfucker who's living this? Am I thinking as that motherfucker, or ain't I? That's all it is. You know what I mean? So like, whatever the fuck is trending in manifestation, yes, it can work, because techniques do work, right? But techniques, they're only working to, it's like when I used to have my dog, when I wanted to kind of be left alone, right? Like when he would, whatever, I had company or I was talking on the phone, whatever, right? And he wanted attention, okay? You want to think of the dog as like the ego, okay? So I'm like, oh my God, like I love you, but not right now. I would give him a rawhide chewing bone. Oh, if you've ever had a dog, you know about the rawhide chewing bone. Someone's gonna say, oh, that's bad for them. No, because when it would get like soggy, I would take it away from him so he couldn't swallow it, okay? So I'd be like, here you go. Here's your rawhide bone. And he would go in the corner. He is happier than a pig in shit. That's how you want to look at the techniques. The techniques are not doing shit. They're just distracting the ego. That's like, right? And you're just like, here. And the ego's like, oh, okay. Yeah, it feels like we're doing something. I'm affirming. I'm doing the O method. I'm doing the whisper method. Yeah. That's all it's doing. It's not that. It's a distraction for the ego, but it's not manifesting shit. You feel me? I don't know where that came from. Where the fuck does anything, I don't know where the hell anything that I say from comes from. It comes from the ethers. You know what I'm saying? It's just boom, here we go. I have great energy. Thank you. Yeah, was it the techniques? It's identity behind them. Exactly, Monikara. It's like the techniques are beneficial because they can help you. Yeah, they can. I'm not knocking that, but like, are you going to be relying on techniques for the entire duration of your experience? Like, the techniques are helpful, but when you get to be very well versed in how the law works, you are that individual. So if you are that individual, you're automatically, it's going to shut down detrimental thoughts. It's going to shut down detrimental emotions, because you are that and you're in pure alignment. Like your God self, there's no issue. So what the technique does, it shuts off the ego, because it places the ego's attention elsewhere, just like my dog with the rawhide bone. That's all it is, okay? Just here you go. That's all it is. And then the ego, because the ego is programmed to work hard, it thinks it's doing something, so it's going to be quiet. Okay? That's all it is. But if you know, and they can help you, because the thought that you keep on thinking, right, with affirmations are just thoughts that you keep fucking thinking over and over again. You know what I mean? You're going to start to believe that. And then the more you start to believe it, you're just going to start to know it. And then it's just going to be who you are. So they can be beneficial, but you can also just decide. You write down every sector. Like, you see apps on your phone. You have your banking app. You have your social media app. You have your dating app. Whatever the fuck you got going on your phone. I don't know. Whatever. You do you. It ain't my business. All your apps, you ask yourself, who am I here? And if you don't like the immediate answer that came to you, you change it and you say, no, I'm not this motherfucker no more. And then how you gonna make a conscious effort to identity shift? Is that every time you find yourself that you're gonna think and revert back to the old way of thinking, you're gonna cut it out, and you're gonna be mindful. Mindfulness is very important. It's more important, in my opinion, than any technique. You know what I mean? So. I don't know what the fuck is going on in the chat. I mean, you know, because I be giving random impromptu sermons. Your vessel needs a shower. May the live be up when you're back. Okay, Jane. Thank you for joining. Enjoy your shower. What if you manage to bring SP but doesn't show up as your favorite version? Then what are you doing if you at the restaurant and they bring you an order that you ain't order, or it's undercooked, or it's overcooked? What do you do then? That's what you do with this. It's the same thing. It is the same thing. You don't like it. Okay, that's not what I ordered. Send it back. That's all. Send that shit back. Hell yeah. Do I believe in jinns? I have a whole series of jinn on my YouTube, which is linked in my bio if you're interested to check that out. But jinn, to me, from what I have seen, what I have channeled, what I've experienced, it's a level of consciousness. And it's similar, in my opinion, to what they would call glamour magic. But it's a level of consciousness, because we're all magicians, but we were just programmed to believe that we're not magicians and we're not shapeshifters. But really, like, when you understand that you control your own reality and there are no limits, you become the jinn, which just means, in my opinion, you're a ninja of the mind. Like, your mind is so astute with, I think that's the second time I said that word in this live, so maybe it has significance for someone. I don't fucking know. But you're so astute that you're like you're like samurai sorting things in your mind that you don't want. It's a level of consciousness. And then I know with like the folklore in Islam that jinn are a type of people that are shapeshifters, and you know, they're purported to be, they don't have the best reputation, but that's not what I have found. Perhaps, you know, for me, like, I've researched all different levels of consciousness and angels, demons, however you want to call them, and none of them I've ever found to be negative, because I'm not going into it with a negative perception. So you don't want to view any entity as being negative, because then that's how they are going to be. Do I journal ever? I do not. I actually do not. I don't. The journal is in my mind, honestly. Oh my god. You stop entertaining versions of SP reality you don't want. You simply don't respond anymore. Well, yeah, if that's the decision for you, that's the decision for you, you know. Modern day Oracle of Delphi. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Going back to the architecture in history, I thought humans got help from jinns. Yeah, because if you think about it, like, we were just talking about this a little bit. Hey, all love, enjoy wherever you at. Morning, afternoon, evening, night. Thank you for joining. Good to see you. Be sure to stop by again. Things... Okay. Occultism, right? It doesn't mean anything bad. It just means hidden, right? So these hidden things, occult, are purported to be bad because they're unknown, because you were programmed with 3D, right? So the occult knowledge, as from what I've studied, it's not bad. It's not scary. It's just like, oh shit, this is what it is. But like, you have to kind of, you have to be mindful not to be judgmental when looking into this stuff, you know. And I'm not saying you are, but like, when you look at all of these things, like even like I've looked into demons and things like that, and I'm like, they're not bad. Like what are they? They were just gods, but then they were demonized for whatever reason. So if like you're looking at someone, they're revering, oh, the sun god, is that perceived bad? No. But then, oh, the god of the underworld, oh, that's bad, that's forbidden. Why, bitch? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you taught that? So I don't know, man. I mean, me, I be all over the place with where my mind wanders, and I have not found anything negative with even other individuals who are into occultism or sensing energies. I've been around witches, wizards, magicians. I really have, and like it sounds like a fairy tale, but it's just it's a state of mind. It's not anything dark or scary. It's like when one elevates in levels of consciousness, they are going to start to appear like they have magical powers to those that do not have that level of consciousness. That's all it is. In Islam, Lucifer was an angel and refused to bow to God because he felt he's better than Adam. I mean, I didn't know that because I'm not familiar with Islam, but thank you for sharing. Yeah, I mean, Lucifer is an angel. If the things that I've studied with Lucifer, he's the light bearer. He helps one get out of darkness. And in Christianity, because I mean, I'm familiar with Christianity, but like it's kind of like a similar, not similar, because Christianity condemns Lucifer, but then in the Bible they say Lucifer says he's the morning star, and so they say so it's like, okay, where are we going with this? It's double-edged sword, okay. But Lucifer, to me, I don't even know where I mean, I know I've heard it somewhere, is that was a fallen angel that went, to have a physical vessel to lead individuals into the light, into the morning star when they're having 3D problems. Lucifer sacrificed himself to come to Earth to help emancipate the masses from the 3D egoistic bindings. So yeah. Allah told Lucifer to bow to Adam and he refused, so he was thrown out. Oh wow. I didn't know that. Thank you. So I'm going to look into that. But yeah, hell yeah, I wouldn't bow to no motherfucker either. I'd be like, who the fuck are you? But of course that's like if we want to look at things literally, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the Quran or things like that, so I'm not going to speak on it because I don't know, but if you are familiar with Islam, like is the Quran, is it meant to be taken like more literally or more metaphorically? Because I know the Bible in Christianity, at least Roman Catholicism, which I was attempted to be indoctrinated, they want you to take it literally, which that's really fucking weird to me because there's some shit in there that I'm like, what? But I don't know about Islam. You think me and Damien Eccles would get along really well? Who is Damien Eccles? I don't even know who that is. It's like telling the 3D to bow to the 4D metaphorically, but God casting him out shows dominion. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I mean, I thought that whole thing, with like the story of the Garden of Eden and how they were cast out of the Garden of Eden, like, okay, the serpent is representative of the Kundalini. The serpent helped them, if anything, right? And then, but they typically like to say the serpent was the devil, but it was never specified that the serpent was the devil. It was just, I believe they says a wise serpent. So the Kundalini, that's why they say when you have a Kundalini awakening that you start to see past shit. And I know for damn Skippy, I had one Kundalini awakening for sure, where the energy was so fucking wild that I felt like my consciousness, like I felt my consciousness, and it was like my body felt so small and confined, and I was like trying to escape my body because my consciousness was like, whoa, I'm beyond this, like, and my body felt constricted. And I remember I was crawling around on my hands and knees ass naked for like over an hour, trying to like ground myself because my body what like it felt so constricted, and I was like, I have to ground myself, because I had that awakening, and I cannot describe it other than, I mean, I don't know if scary was the word, but it definitely it was something radical, because I was like, well, my consciousness is saying I am more powerful than this vessel, let me out. And I was like, all right, let's just tone this down a bit. So I had to ground myself, because I'm typically not very grounded, which, I mean, I like, but at that point it was like my consciousness was like trying to burst through. And I was like, okay, physical vessel, physical vessel, physical vessel, because it was fucking wild as shit. So that shit ain't no joke. Do I think Nikola Tesla was an occultist? I don't know. I've heard different things about him. I definitely think that, I mean, if we want to go with the story, like, if that's even a real person, because we don't even know, right? We just know we've been told. But I think he had tapped into some knowledge there, definitely, with all the shit he was doing. But, you know, a lot of people are occultists, especially in like reality co-creation, because it's taught in occultism how you create your reality. So I wouldn't be shocked. Damien Eccles is a guy who, after being on death row, had an awakening of consciousness, and that got him out of prison, made him realize. Nice, good for him. I never heard of him, but thank you for sharing that. I gotta look into that, because I've never heard of this person. Demons and angels are just representations of the self. Yes, because anything that you are aware of, whether you perceive it as a demon or an angel, it has to be in your awareness. So it has to be you to an extent, right? Because you have an awareness of that thing. So, like, I've channeled angels, I've channeled demons. Are they me? Yes, that's why I was able to channel them. But it's like the ego is perceiving it as like a name, as a different point of consciousness. But like, if I wasn't in resonance with that, the message they were conveying, I wouldn't have been able to channel them. So it was still me. It was an aspect of me. But the ego was like, oh, that's outside because this is so-and-so talking to you. But the ego could say whatever the fuck it wants. Like, let me tell you, the really great time that I had channeling was Benjamin Franklin, who I can tell you was a fucking man. He had some things going on, but I had a great time channeling him. He was with me for about like 2 days, and I had the time of my life, and he was showing me all this shit about astrology, and like, wow. I said, whoa. I said, you know a lot. So whatever that aspect was, I received a lot of knowledge. I think I have these videos on YouTube channeling different consciousnesses and things like that. But yes, they are all me. Have I astral projected to the moon? No, I have not. I have astral projected, not to the moon. I've astral projected quite a few times. The first time that I consciously astral projected, I placed a piece of moldavite underneath my pillow, and I went to sleep with binaural beats and headphones, and then I was chanting to myself as I fell asleep, mind awake, body asleep, mind awake, body asleep. And then I felt myself lift out of my body. I saw myself, I floated above, and I saw my physical vessel sleeping there, and then I floated up it through the ceiling, and I saw my fucking upstairs neighbors, and I was like, okay. And then I went back in my body. I astral projected a few other times after that. I astral projected actually the other day when I was sleeping, and I saw myself sleeping, and then I was aware that I was sleeping, but I was doing something else in my astral body. So yeah, I've astral projected, just never to the moon, maybe because I don't have an interest in that. I've astral projected to a point where a friend of mine, I was like, listen, because I was conducting experiments. So I said, listen, you know, if I were to ever astral project, do I have permission to see you? And the person was like, yeah, okay. So then I astral projected and I saw this person specifically because that was the intention. And I was like, oh, were you asleep at this time, and were you wearing this, and you know, did you have bed sheets that look like that? And I didn't say anything. I didn't say I astral projected. I just opened the conversation with that. This person was like, yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm serious. Like, is that true? And this person was like, yeah, how'd you know that? And I was like, oh, because I saw you. And they were like, what? And like, they couldn't believe it, because I don't know what the fuck this person's bedroom looks like, or what they would have been wearing, or what color their sheets were. And it happened. So there's my kind of 3D proof that this person confirmed it. But I mean, I've astral projected like quite a few times. It's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. What I recommend, if you want to have like interesting dreams that are like precognitive, or like there's something in there, I recommend that you sleep, then you set an alarm for like maybe 5 hours into it. When you know you're going to be sleeping, you set an alarm, you wake up, and then you just go back to sleep, and then you allow, like, no more alarms. You just go back to sleep after that. Those are the times. Whoa, dreams be fucking crazy. I don't know why it is. There's probably some science behind it, but I can tell you, because I've never done this, but it's just like if I wake up in the middle of the night and I have to like pee, or I'm thirsty or something, which it's not too common, but like the times that those things have happened where I'm sleeping and I wake up for a brief moment and then I go back to sleep, after that, dreams, astral projection, shit is wild as fuck. I don't know why. I think science might explain it, but I said, whoa, this shit is legit. Yeah, the second sleep thing, right? Mm-hmm. You were drunk once, you astral projected in your sleep, a dark deity was trying not to let me back my... Oh, wow. Yeah, that happens too. That happens too. It's really... It's like trippy when that stuff happens, you know what I mean? That happened, I'll tell you a story. I don't know if this is going to scare anyone in the chat, but like, there was a time, and like, of course, I'm open to this. I believe in this, so of course I would have an experience like this, so it's fine. If you don't believe in it, even if you had an experience like this, you're going to be like, whatever. But like, I know that a demon tried to possess my body and was like partially inside my body at this one point. When I first started getting, and this is like years ago, because now that wouldn't even have, I'm so, I can recognize different energies. So it's like, I was studying with like a psychic mentor, and I studied with this person for about 2 years, and under my tutelage from this person, you know, just honing in on psychic abilities, I was really open to it, because that's what I was concentrated on, right? So I was sleeping, and my dog, he would always sleep in the bed with me because he's spoiled and whatever. He would just sleep in the bed with me. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, though. So I was already under the guise of, I believe in interdimensional beings and spirits and blah, blah, blah. I was open to it. I was studying with someone who was psychic, who very meaningful along my journey, helped me to understand a lot of things. And I was sleeping, and it was kind of like the morning, I don't know what time it was, okay, but it'd be almost around the time that I'd wake up naturally, and I was having a dream, and in my dream, it was like very dark, heavy energy, and in the dream, I was in this place that I was like, okay, I don't really associate the best things with this place. And then there was a mirror, and then I looked in the mirror, and I felt like underneath my skin in the dream, it was like boiling. I don't know how to describe it other than like, if you were to imagine a pot of boiling water, it was like under my skin, and my skin, like, it wasn't bubbling, but it felt like it was all over my entire body. And I was like, what's going on? And I looked in the mirror, and my eyes were like pupils completely dilated. Like, you could not see any iris color. It was like legit when they show you in the demonic possession, like movies or whatever, how someone's eyes are just black. It looked like a shark eye. And I was like, what the fuck? And I felt it. And then I was like, oh shit, I gotta wake up. I gotta get the fuck out of here. Because I felt it in my dream. And then I woke up, and then I still felt my skin, like, with that. And I was like, okay, I'm in my bed. And I still felt it in my skin, right? The bubbling. And so I didn't know what the fuck to do. And at that time, the only thing I knew was I went back to the immediate thing, which was Christ consciousness. I said, Jesus! Like, because I didn't know what the fuck to do, because I was scared, and I fucking woke up fully, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, okay, it was just a dream. And I'm thinking it's just a dream. And I'm like, okay. Like, I'm still laying down because I don't even want to open my eyes, right? Because I was, that experience was not pleasant, okay? I was fucking, because I felt it in my body, and it wasn't me. It would, like, you know, sometimes when you be afraid of shit, you'd be like, oh, that's scary, and you can say that this, no, that was a separate, I felt it as separate. It processed as, this is not me, this is something else here, I don't know what's going on. So I was like lying in bed, and I feel the blankets. Remember I said my dog, he would sleep in the bed with me. So I felt the blankets moving with that same bubbling, right? And it was next to me, and it was moving. And I remember I felt so relieved. I was like, oh my God, it was just a dream. Oh, thank God, my dog, he's here. It's just a dream. And then so I reached over because I wanted to, like, pull him to me to hug him, because I was fucking, I wasn't in a good state, okay? Like, looking back on it now, it's kind of funny, but I was like, in that moment, I was like, oh my God, my dog. And then I went to go grab him because the blankets were moving. And I put my hand down, and it went straight to the mattress. And I was awake. I was lucid. It was not a dream, because I told you, I called upon the name of Jesus. Christ consciousness lifted me out of whatever the fuck that was. And I went, and there was nothing there. I said, oh my God. But I felt it moving because I was already awake. And I was like, and then I said, oh, hell no. So I shot up in my bed, and then I was like, where the fuck is my dog now? And so he was at the corner of my bed, all the way the other end of the bed, and he was fast asleep. So there was no way that he would have been under the blankets next to me moving if he was fast asleep at the foot of my bed. And so I'm like, I said his name, and he's like, the fuck you waking me up, right? Like, you know, you could tell when the dog was asleep. And I was like, oh. And I'm like, and I'm in disbelief, because I'm like, what the fuck was that? I'm like, was it a dream? And I'm trying to still teeter back and forth between logic and all that shit. I'm like, that was a dream, but I'm awake, but I know that I felt this thing next to me. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, let me see my eyes. So I grab my phone, and I look in the fucking selfie camera, whatever, and I'm like, and I look, and my eyes were, bro, they were completely pupil. There was no color. It was black like a shark. And I got fucking shook. I didn't even, I didn't save the picture, because probably motherfuckers would be like, oh, well then prove that happened and save the picture. No, I was like, I'm not even documenting this. Like, that was dark fucking energy. It was not, like, that shit was crazy. Okay? And I was like, okay, let me just breathe. And then that was it. And then I remember, like, maybe 2 weeks later, after that incident happened, okay, because I was like, okay, whatever. And I told the person I was training with, and then this person was like, yeah, you know, like, you want to make sure that you make, like, a wall of protection around you, because you're, like, into this. So now it's, like, kind of like an open doorway, you know, whatever. So that it was handled, right, because this person told me what to do. And that, you know, that's part of how I learned how to, like, cast a spell around myself so nothing infiltrates, okay? So then, like, 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, I'm astral projecting. And I know I was astral projecting, right? Just like I knew that was a dream, but there was something in the dream that and they say, side note, they say whenever you dream, you're astral projecting. I mean, I don't know. I don't have experience either or, because the times I've astral projected, I was aware that I was astral projecting and not dreaming. So I don't know, but they say every time you dream, your astral body is outside of your physical body. So maybe that's where the entity saw the doorway and tried to like sneak in, whatever, okay? So then 2 weeks later, I definitely was astral projecting. It was not a dream. And I felt the difference. And then so I saw myself and I was like, oh shit, look how cute I am in bed. And then it was like this energy, again, that dark energy. And I can't explain it other than it was like, man, bro, I am not scared of scary movies. I don't give a fuck. Because I have lived what I lived and ain't no movie scaring me. This shit, it was dark energy. It was like foreboding. It was like, and then so I sensed it and I saw it come up when I was astral projecting, because I was out of my body and I saw it in the astral realm. And it was like, it's like a cloud. It was like, if you ever seen those fucking movies where they have like a fog smoke machine where the fog is rolling slowly, it looked like that, but it looked like kind of like black smoke. You know, when a fire just starts, like that smoke, it's like a black tone, and it was like rolling like fog, and it was rolling slowly. And I did what my mentor told me to do, and I looked at it, and I put my finger up, and I said no. And it retreated. It didn't try to fight me. It didn't try to overpower me. It didn't try to do nothing. It just, I looked and I said no. And it went back. And then it happens like maybe a week after that, it tried coming back, but I was like, oh hell no. So I just sensed it. Like I kind of saw it in my peripheral vision while I was astral projecting. Like I saw it and I was like, we ain't doing this shit again. Nope. And then it just, and then nothing like that ever happened again. So someone can say with manifesting, right? Yes, I was open to it. So of course I created those experiences. Were those experiences valid? Abso-fucking-lutely. Because that feeling when my skin was bubbling, I've never been more terrified in my life. It felt like something was doing, and I was like, whoa, and I was aware that it wasn't me. Like, you know, when you feel anxious or you feel afraid or whatever, like you're like, okay, like it kind of feels like it's coming from you. This was not me. I said, whoa, what the fuck? Because I don't be feeling like that. Naturally, I don't be feeling like that. That shit was wild as fuck. It was like a fucking brew, like bubbling. And I said, okay. So after that, and this is interesting because I had those experiences. Whenever I've told people of those experiences, they've gotten so freaked out. I don't know why. I'm like, bitch, that shit ain't happened to you. It happened. You know what I mean? It's my story, but whatever. I get whatever. Okay. So did I have a potential demonic possession? It tried. Whatever the fuck it was, it tried. And I was like, we're not doing this today. Okay. No. So after that, which I'm actually thankful looking back on it that those situations occurred, because I'm so in discernment with energy right now. Like I can sense it. And this is what, you know, people with the manifestation, reality co-creation, you might try to argue with me. You're saying I'm creating it. To an extent, yes, I agree. But it's also like you want to imagine, okay? And this is my thoughts on this. So again, do what you want to do. I'm not telling anyone what to believe or not to believe. This is just my story, okay? So, yes, I was open to it. I believe that there are other energies, okay? Am I creating them because I have an awareness of it? Yes, but you also want to look at it, okay? These type of experiences, okay, sensing energy, and I knew it wasn't my energy, dog. Just like, I mean, I don't know, like, if I'm touching my hair, I know what my hair feels like. I'm like, oh, that's my hair. But someone else's hair, I'm touching it, I'm going to have an awareness that this is not mine. I know it's hair, but it's not mine. Just like I knew that was energy, but it wasn't mine. And I don't know how to describe it better than that. But you want to think of it, yes, you're creating your experience, but you also, from your perception, you have the awareness of how to articulate what that thing is. So I like my showers super hot. Okay, super hot. Motherfuckers get in the shower with me. They're like, God damn, what the fuck is going on in here? And I'm like, it's perfect temperature. And they're like, yo, my dude, like, what are you doing? Okay, so, right? It's the same thing. I'm processing it as this is a perfect temperature because I have sensors that are telling me from my awareness this is perfect. Someone else is saying, no, it's too hot. Okay, so you have to think of it. There's energy all around us. And yes, we're creating our experience, but we also have sensors that are interpreting things the way that we see it. So there's different types of energies. Like I said, I channeled Benjamin Franklin. We had a great fucking time. We had a time, can I tell you? Okay, not like that, not like that. No, I've channeled Aleister Crowley, oh my God, I love Aleister Crowley. I love Aleister Crowley. He cool as shit, okay? That energy, good, positive. I was feeling good. Even though I knew it wasn't my energy, I wasn't getting like, whoa, what is happening? That energy from that, I'm like, oh. So I'm processing that the way that I articulated. Just like someone else, Benjamin Franklin can be like, hey, what's up? How you doing? They're like, did you hear something? Like, because they're not open to that. So they might be receiving the same thing I am, but their interpretation is totally different. Okay, so this is why with what they call dark energy, it's not like, I'm not scared of that. Like I said, I would go at night in the fucking abandoned, haunted mental asylum and I'd make friends with motherfuckers. I just wouldn't want to go because I'd be like, the building is dilapidated. I don't want some shit falling on me. I don't know what kind of 3D critters they got running around. That's the only thing that would keep me away. But as far as me going and chilling with spirits, hey, what's up? How you doing? All the time. All the time, because I'm open to it, because they wouldn't bother me. And they wouldn't bother me because of the experience that I had. Because if there was a spirit there and they were telling me, yo, you better fucking leave right now, I'd be like, I'm sorry to disturb you, I'm out. Someone else who they don't know how, like the same spirit might be communicating to them, because remember, it's all perception. They're not open to it, they don't believe in it. They walking into a haunted asylum trying to taunt a motherfucker. Bitch, this motherfucker has no body. You want to taunt them? My dude, they got tricks up their sleeve that you can't even fathom. And you want to go in there? I wouldn't go in there like that. Okay, so you see, it's the same thing, right? My perception, I'm aware of it. I'm like, okay, there's energies of sentience here. I'm accepting that. Someone else going in, I'm going to go and whatever. Okay, cool. So who's going to get their ass served to them? It ain't gonna be me, because as the second I sense, get out, goodbye, I'm out, bye, gone. Someone else says, I'm gonna keep it filming because, well, okay, have fun with that. And then they're a news story the next morning. You know what I'm saying? So because that experience happened, other experiences that have happened after, I'm able to discern what the energy is. Just like I'm sensing, is this the perfect temperature to me, but someone else is saying it's too hot? Because yes, I'm creating that. I am, because I believe in it. So someone who doesn't believe in it, it doesn't mean that the energy is not presenting itself to them. It's just that they're interpreting the energy different, just like the water temperature. So there, which leads me to another story. Because you all are probably so enraptured by all of this. I don't know why, but maybe it's beneficial to someone. So this is going to be the Saturnalia occult chat, okay? Because here's what we're doing, okay? We're talking about occultism, spirits, ghosts, demons, possessions, cool, okay? So after that, a few years after that, I was reading tarot cards for someone, okay? I was reading tarot cards. And someone in the manifestation community be like, oh, but tarot, my dude, listen, tarot, if you're doing it obsessively, that's a you problem. But tarot is really advice. And sometimes the person that's reading tarot can convey things in a way that makes it click for you, and you're like, okay, it's the same thing as you have like a mentorship session with someone. They're just conveying a message in a way that resonates with you, and you might find benefit. But the tarot reading is still what you kind of expect, because it's your subconscious. Okay, cool. So I was doing a tarot reading for someone, and this individual was very into otherworldly consciousness beings, okay? And this person had expressed it to me. So I'm reading cards for this individual. And I had this person, you know, if I'm doing a reading in person, I'm going to have the person cut the deck because their energy, right? It's a reading for them, okay? So this person touched the cards. As soon as this person touched the cards and I started reading, I started feeling like, whoa. And I knew it wasn't for me because I had already had that discernment. I'm like, this is not coming from me. This is from them. This is a message for them. But whatever it was, so I was just a conduit. I was just a messenger. I'm like, I'm reading cards. And there was that same dark foreboding, like that energy. Wow. Whoa, I will never forget it. And anyone who has had these experiences will tell you that energy, you do not forget it. Okay? It was like impending doom and like it was, I was like, what the fuck? So I'm reading cards. So we get a whole bunch of interesting cards, very interesting. And then, so I'm like, and I'm trying not to say anything because I'm like, I don't want to convey that there's, because I knew it wasn't for me, because whoever that was, it was for the person I was reading for. So then I remember I made eye contact with this person. This person's like, there's something here. And I was like, yeah, there fucking is. But it's not for me. And so I wasn't shook because even though I felt that energy, it wasn't directed at me. Like, I don't know how to explain it, okay? And if you're into like energy and psychic and things like that, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I felt it. Just like the energy that, like, when they, whatever the fuck, I don't even know, tried to possess my body. I was like, that's not me. I was like, this is not for me, but it didn't try anything with me. Because remember, I already knew, I'm like, we ain't doing this. So whatever it was, it came through and I felt it, but it wasn't directed at me. So you want to imagine, right? Like, let's say you grow up with a sibling and the sibling is a badass motherfucker. They always getting in trouble and you the good one, right? You the angel. So your parents are screaming at the sibling and they're yelling at whatever the fuck, they're disciplining the sibling, and you sense the energy and you're like, oh shit, I'm glad that's not me. That's how that energy was. That's the best way I can describe it, because it was intense, but it wasn't at me. So I was kind of chilling, like, yeah, I feel this. It's a little uncomfortable, but it ain't for me, so whatever. And that feeling stuck with me for like maybe a day or two. So I was like, you need to cleanse this space right here, because I don't know what the fuck was going on. But again, this person was so into that of course that presence would want to show itself because that person believed in it. So again, the tarot reading of that entity showing up, it was me. I'm reading the cards, neutral as fuck, and then I'm like, whoa. And so because that person expected that to come out in the reading. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like reality creation is interesting, because if you're open to something, you're going to see it. But if you have that attunement within yourself where you know it's not a message for you, in my opinion, that's more like psychic arts, okay? And yes, it can be manifestation, because you're manifesting, like I manifested the version of me that even if there's a dark entity around, they're not going to bother me. I'm cool with them. So that was my experience of that. I felt them, but I was like, it's not for me. I don't know, man. You need to handle that. But this person was like, oh yeah, but they can have influence. And I'm like, well, they really can't unless you tell them that they can have influence, right? So we were both open to that idea of interdimensional, whatever. We're both open to it. But from my perception, I was like, they're not going to bother me. But to this person's perception, it was like, oh. So I was like, yeah, I recommend you cleanse this space, whatever. And then, so that situation that happened, did I manifest it because I was open to that, because that's what I was studying at that point? Sure, we can say that. But there's still a finesse, which you kind of have to experience. Like, and if you've not experienced something like that, I'm not trying to convince you. Not trying to convince you, but that's how it works. So you're open to something, you have an awareness of it. But if you're saying at the same time, I'm ain't no one bothering me, I'm cool, but I sense that that's there, then that's going to be your experience. So if a dark energy tries to come to you, you're like, oh, I recognize this, goodbye. Like, yes, it can be an aspect of you if you want to say it because you're open to it, but it's also, what are you doing with that information, right? Or are you going to allow that to take over you? Or are you going to be like, no, I'm the boss, I'm the Lord, and there is none else, so I see this, but I'm not participating. Like, so that's kind of the difference there. So I don't know where the fuck this went or how we started talking about. That was super weird. I'm glad this is going on YouTube at a certain point, because maybe someone is going through that. I don't know. So, like, with manifesting, what happens if it did possess? I mean, that would depend on the person. That would really depend on the person. And this is, you know, people that have been possessed, they, in my opinion, they might have seen signs of it, but they didn't accept that they were still the operant power, and so the thing took over because they believed it. You know what I mean? How do you balance spiritual beliefs with law of assumption? You grew up spiritual, so you struggle at times. It's this, I mean, I don't know if I could really compare those two things, because spirituality is such a broad spectrum. But law of assumption, what you assume is what's going to play out, period. There's no spirituality in that. That's just what it is. It's like as natural as breathing. But spirituality, like I said, with like the whole psychic thing and tarot and astrology and sensing different energies, that's your belief in the thing. So even with that, if you have spiritual beliefs in any direction, you would still want to spin it to the most positive favor, because the law of assumption is constant. Spiritual beliefs, there are people that are utilizing law of assumption. They are not spiritual at all. So they're living their life, right? They're no different necessarily. They're not open-minded in that faculty. So if you are spiritual and you are open to that shit, you want to spin it to the most possible, most positive sensation. You know what I mean? You enjoy the occult topics? Nice. Thank you. Glad you enjoy. Yeah, occult is a lot of law of assumption and reality co-creation shit is in occult teachings. Like, if you want to think of the book The Kabbalion, it's not a super mainstream book. It's kind of hidden. Occult, right? Occult just means hidden. And they talk about how you create your experience. So anyone who is like a high priest or a high priestess, or they're, you know what I mean, a witch, a wizard, a magician, right? If you want to call them that by 3D terms, they're just utilizing their mind power more than the average person. That's all it is. It's not even magic. It's just that they have an awareness that is beyond the 3D. That's why to them they're seeing things already differently, which is why it looks like magic to others. That's all it is. And it's taught in occult teachings and things like that. It really and truly is. It's taught. Like, you get what you focus on. Like the whole thing with why they have in masonic symbolism, the black and white checkerboard. What does that mean? Black and white. Means duality, doesn't it? But then you see something above that. You're walking above it, right? Because that's how the floor looks typically in like a lot of places. And they're photographed and they're like, oh, Masonic symbolism, the black and white checkerboard floor. You're walking over it because you are the Lord and there is none else. So the duality is beneath you. That's exactly what that means. It's not scary. It's just that they're showing you, but not everyone has their third eye open to that. You see what I'm saying? So with the occult knowledge, it's not taught, right? Because like I said, whenever the fuck Rockefeller took over the indoctrination camps, at least in the United States, I don't know if it's globally, it probably is though, I don't fucking know. But they program you to believe that things are a certain way, that the 3D, the duality is real. But then in all the symbolism, in occultism, they show you that duality is below you. And the metaphorical significance of that is that you are the Lord and you are above duality. And that's how you are to be ideally operating as. I don't know where the fuck that came from. But yeah, I've done so much research into this shit, bro. Like you don't understand, okay? Like my research on all of these topics has been years. It has been years. This is why, like, when I talk on here with like manifesting, to me that's very simple. The law is always on. The law is like breathing. The law of assumption. What you assume to be true is true. Okay, cool. You get what you focus on. Okay, cool. Who are you being in the moment? Okay, if you're being a victim, you're going to get more things to be victimized by. If you're being powerful, you're going to get more things to empower you. Period. It's simple. But that knowledge, there's depth behind it because it's been taught, but it's not taught mainstream because they only want certain individuals looking for that. So not everyone is going to go looking for that because motherfuckers, like we said in the beginning of the chat, perfect time to circle back. 1111, holla, Zen Rainbow, yeah. So the symbolism is there. That's why on the fucking US dollar bill they have an all-seeing eye. Are you fucking shitting me? Why is the all-seeing eye on the US dollar bill? Why? I don't know, man. Coinky dink. Come on. Come on. Anoiete coetis. What does that mean? That's what they have on the dollar bill too. What does that mean? That means someone who's like, yeah. Like it's like an inside joke. What is the dollar bill? It's a piece of paper, but they program you to believe that it's worth something. So it's like someone's like, ha 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 ha. That's what that is. And I've researched all of this. So that's why when anyone asks me, what do I do to manifest? How can I manifest a text message? I'm like, is that all you want? Because you're capable of so much more, but you still in some way, and I'm not saying you guys in the chat, you're the real MVPs, you already know what the fuck I'm talking about. But when I see anyone, they're like, how do you manifest a text message? I'm like, I need a sip. That's all I have to say. That I need a sip. How do you manifest a text message when you are the Lord and there is none else? My goodness. Oh, okay. So this whole manifestation shit, it's been taught, but motherfuckers looking in the wrong places. So now because it's like a trending thing with this whole manifestation, you know, they're like, how many motherfuckers manifest with Betsy or manifest with fucking George? I don't know, and I'm not shading that, okay? Do you want to, fine. But like motherfuckers jumping on the bandwagon, and I'm not saying all. A lot of them are doing it because it's trending and they don't know that there is history to manifestation, but it has been hidden, and it's called a cult, and it's called a cult because you're supposed, it's like, whoa, like, oh no, it's forbidden. Like, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek. There's nothing to be afraid of, it's all you. And then you start becoming the magician in your own reality, then motherfuckers are like, oh shit. Okay, you have to like here's the number one thing. Watching me speak puts you in the God state. Exactly. There you go. There you go. I'm glad you enjoyed the content. Can you explain why, in short, you think the law of assumption is valid, please? Okay. It doesn't matter why I think it's valid. Who am I? Who am I to you? I'm the most important motherfucker in my universe, but who am I? How many motherfuckers talk about this shit? It doesn't matter why I think it's valid. It matters why you think it's valid. Number one, okay? Because I could tell you things, I could show you receipts, proof, I could tell you stories until you fall asleep. You have to know that it's valid, and how you know it's valid is you experience it. And how do you personally experience it? Not what I've experienced, not what anyone in the chat has experienced, not what some guru has experienced. You decide, this is what I'm going to experience next to my reality. Pick a thing, whatever it is. Stick to that decision. Do not think against it. Do not waver from it. Do not say, oh, well, maybe I don't want that. Maybe I want this. No, get really clear what you want. This is my next experience, whatever the fuck it is. You see a purple floating cow. Okay. Seems impossible. It does. But you stick to that and you say, this is my next experience. Just see what happens. And then I don't need to explain to you why I think it's valid, because you have proof within yourself. That's it. It's not about me. Okay? It's about me and my reality, but for you, it doesn't matter what the fuck I think. It really doesn't. You have to do it for you. And this is what I recommend to everyone. If they're just stumbling upon it because it's a new trending thing, you have to do it for yourself. And this is what they call testing. Oh, the universe is testing. The universe ain't testing jiggity jag. You're doing that because you are perceiving that there's a test. So if you want to test yourself that the law is real, do what I just said and see what happens. And then you'll have the proof you need. And that cannot be taken from you because it'll be something that you personally have experienced. That's my suggestion with that. Don't listen to what the fuck I say. Really. Do not. Since our assumptions create, if we don't believe in karma, is it not real? Yes, that's absolutely correct, because you have to assume something to be true in order for it to play out for you. That's it. That is all it is. If you don't believe in something, it cannot fucking present itself, okay? And I'm going to tell you that, and like, I'm going to be very mindful with my words here, because this video, I don't know, when you talk about this topic, this video might be whatever, but whatever. So there was something that occurred a few years ago. You guys know what I'm talking about. 2020. Are we seeing clearly? Okay, there was a whole thing that happened globally. Again, I'm being cryptic because I don't want this video, okay, you know what I mean? And I'm not, it's not like, oh my God, you're scared of censorship. No, but I gotta be logical. If I want the message out, I'm going to speak in parables, just like the Bible. Yeah, because you know what I'm talking about. And those who know, they fucking know, right? So there was this thing, okay? Globally, there was a narrative going on. I personally did not believe that. I did not accept it as true. For whatever reason, I was just like, yeah, it has nothing to do with me. There were things going on in 3D. Oh, you have to do this. You have to do that. You're not allowed in this store unless you know what I mean. You have to take substances in order to whatever, right? We all remember that, okay? So that whole situation that occurred, I did not believe in it. I did not participate in it. I didn't. I was just like, I don't believe that. So I'm perfectly healthy. I've always been perfectly healthy. I've always had a very strong immune system. It's just whatever. So I'm walking around regular, the places that I could have went because everything was shut down, because you know what I'm talking about. I'm walking around regular. Motherfuckers see me and I'm like smiling. And I'm smiling like, oh my God, I have another story time. Oh shit, this cut water really hitting, okay? So during that whole thing, and I'm going to tell you this, because belief, globally, pretty much everyone was under that spell of like, this is what's happening. And it was happening for them because they accepted it as true, but I didn't I was like, I don't believe this. I'm not participating in it. I was, whatever. Okay, so there would, and I'm gonna tell you the craziest shit, right? Because remember, we just talked about I was almost demonically possessed, and the 666, the carbon-based life form, whatever, right? So at the very beginning of this, I remember it was like maybe a month into it when it was still kind of like iffy. It was only in the country that they say that it originated, and it was not. I'm in the US, so I'm just gonna go by that. And it was kind of like they were like, oh well, there have been a few instances. Okay, and again, I'm being very, very, very fucking mindful. Welcome back, Jean. Hope you enjoyed your shower. Okay, so I didn't believe any of that. Okay, and if you did, I don't give a shit. I did not believe it. I was like, that's not true. I'm perfectly healthy. I'm gonna conduct myself accordingly, whatever, right? So I remember over here, everyone, like when it first hit the news, because the news is always perfectly accurate. Of course it is. So everyone, like you know what I'm saying? All you could see were their eyes. You know what I mean? Because they were, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't do that. So I was like, smiling like the Cheshire cat and shit, like walking around. Oh, okay, why are you doing that? Like, because I'm not, what is this? I'm not participating in whatever play is occurring. I have no interest. I don't care. I believe it, right? Right at the beginning, this random person approached me. I remember very clearly, okay? And I didn't believe it, but this is my solidification that whatever, because I'm very into the matrix theory that there are certain narratives put out there to instill fear for whatever reason. I don't know. They're just, because something like this narrative happened 100 years prior. And if you know, you know. Just look up 100 years prior, 1918, 1919. There was something similar. What is that? That's a repeat in the game, isn't it? They keep respawning different narratives, the same narrative in a different manner. Okay, cool. That was my perception. Again, this is for me, okay? I didn't believe any of it. Within the first month, when they first started talking about this over here, I remember I went to the bank, and I was leaving the bank, and everyone else, they were like, this, you know what I mean, restricting airflow. And I'm like, I'm never going to restrict spiritus. I'm not going to do that, okay, because I enjoy oxygen. Cool, right? You don't want to restrict the breath, but that was symbolic, okay? I'm walking. This other person, they also were smiling. You could see their face. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm speaking very cryptically, but you know what I'm talking about. This person approaches me. Like, is like, yo, where's your mask? Mask. Okay, cool, right? I could wear a mask if we're going to the fucking parade. I could wear a mask if it's Halloween, whatever. Where's your mask? And I said, I don't need one. Where's yours? Because this person too, right? They were, cheesing. It's like, yo. And I'm like, okay, let me talk to you for a minute. I don't know who this is. So I'm like, okay, so this person comes over to me, and they start showing me things on their phone, people waiting on the, remember how it was where it was like a dot, and then like 6 feet apart, there was another dot, and that's how you were supposed to wait online for shit, whatever. So that wasn't going on in the US at that point. So this person shows that to me, and it was in some other country, and then I was like, okay, and then this person's like, yo, they want to do that here, they want to control us, whatever. I was like, I don't know. And then they start, whatever. Again, I'm not going to get into it because I'm being mindful, but this person started talking to me about all this stuff, okay? And then I was like, I don't think there's anything crazy going on, I'm just not participating. And this person's like, yeah, me neither, whatever. So then at that point, it was advised, you don't know a person, you don't go up to them, right? It had to be safe distance away. I don't give a fuck because I wasn't participating. So you were supposed to not to shake hands or whatever with people you didn't know or something. It was a whole, and I remember looking the other day on the fucking, there were plastic wraps when you had to go visit Memoir Peepaw in the nursing home, and motherfuckers were hugging through plastic, and I revisited that shit. I had a great time laughing. Okay, because I was like, wow, Motherfuckers were really doing that. But anyway, so this person, we had a little chat, and then we were just saying we don't believe in that, whatever. We're the only two motherfuckers who were like cheese smiling freely. Everyone else was looking at us like, oh my God, because they were fucking terrified. And me and this person were not. I don't know who this, again, I'm gonna say I don't know who this was. So then they're like, yo, I'd like to keep in contact with you. I was like, all right, I'll get your number, because I'm not gonna give my, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take your number. So they give me the number, and the number has in it 666, consecutive 3 6s. And you would think, oh my God, 666, the devil. And I just fucking laughed. And I said, 666? I was like, what does that mean? And this person's like, well, I'm not the devil, but I ain't no altar boy. And I said, what? So whatever, I took the number down, and then this person is like held the hand out, like to shake my hand, and then I shook the hand, because why not? And it's this person has my hand and it looks me dead in the eye and says, thank you. And I was like, thank you for what? Dead in the eye again, still holding my hand, for not being afraid. I said, what? I said, what the fuck was even that? Okay, and then we just went our separate ways. I never followed. I never tried to call the maybe it was a fake number and they just said 666. I don't fucking know. Who knows, right? For shock value, who knows, right? But so that's what happened. And then I remember after that, I was like, that was a very profound experience, because it was right before any of them, before anything was shut down. It was just kind of being talked about, like whispered about, like, oh, you can't go out without a, and you have to like be mindful of strangers and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I don't believe none of this. That was my messenger of solidification, of being like, this is nothing, right? Because my dude, I shook their hand. They looked me dead in the eye and said, thank you. I said, for what? I do nothing but have a conversation with them. I wasn't afraid. Why would I be afraid? Everyone is me. What is there to be afraid of? So that solidified it. And when, after that whole thing was going on, I was legit looking at motherfuckers like, wow, you are so entrenched in whatever that is. Okay, and anyway, so furthermore, I did not know anyone who, I'm gonna be mindful with my words, I didn't know anyone who succumbed or was even diagnosed with that. No one in my immediate circle whatsoever. Why? Because I am the Lord and there is none else. So I didn't believe in it. Therefore, anyone in my close circle, I didn't believe in it. So they couldn't have come down with something that I don't believe in. And y'all motherfuckers like what like that? No, but it's the fucking truth. I didn't believe in it. No one that I know that's in my close circle had any type of ailment, any type of anything that whole time when all of that was going on. Because and I'm telling you, I'm not saying it like, I mean, I am the Lord and there isn't else, but I'm not saying it's like, you know, God complex. I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying from the manifestation perspective, because I didn't believe in it. How could anyone be diagnosed with that who's close to me, because I don't believe in it? So it couldn't present itself. So there were other individuals, maybe someone who was like a friend of a friend or something. I heard whatever they caught, whatever the fuck, whatever, okay? But those things happened because those people believed in that thing. So even though I didn't believe in it, I had a belief that other individuals believed that that was real. So it had to play out for them, because remember, I'm thinking, well, I don't believe in it, but other people do, right? So it worked out perfectly. So the whole time when I was be hearing shit, and I've heard, you know, and I'm not saying like, if you know someone who, you know, something bad happened with them during that, you know, or they passed, or I'm not talking negatively about that, okay? I'm just saying in my experience, in my circle, because I didn't believe in that, no one would be able to be diagnosed with that because I didn't believe in it. So how could it present itself? And that's when it really solidified for me. I'm like, I'm really creating this because the whole entire fucking world, the Matrix, believe for the most part. I mean, there were like, of course, there were like, you know, a good amount of individuals who didn't, you know, they kind of shared my views. They're like, what's going on is like too hyped up. Like it was sus to them. They didn't believe it. They, you know what I mean? But like, I was balls to the wall. I was like, I'm not budging. I'm not doing shit. You want to shut shit down? Fine. I don't need to go nowhere. I don't need to go nowhere. I don't need to do anything. I'm not going to fucking put, like, I'm not going to walk around. No. The fuck was that? I'm not going to get, like, to go to the fucking bar. And I remember the propaganda was so insane. This is like Krispy Kreme offering donuts to motherfuckers. I'm like, what? Like it was a joke. And again, if I'm not knocking anyone that passed away. Like it's not about that, okay? But I'm just saying in my realm, from my experience, okay? So you know, I'm not talking about other people because I had heard of people passing away or something happened, you know, and I'm not saying that, but I'm saying in my vicinity, for me, in my universe, in my sphere, I just found it like, wow, all of these motherfuckers are hypnotized by a belief. And that's why they're creating it for themselves. And I saw it firsthand because I was like, that's what I told you. I said at a certain point in this, I said, if you see all the motherfuckers going this way, you go that way. That's exactly what I did in my mind. And I was like, okay, that everyone believes this. I don't. All right. Like, you know what I mean? And so the ones that believed in it, they started seeing evidence of it in maybe people that they knew or something. And, you know, I'm like, well, you want to intend that the person is healthy, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to, but I was still, this is a time when I was still getting my feet wet in the manifesting, you know, in the conscious reality co-creation. But it was just, if I had not had that, you know, because everyone is a messenger, right? At least it's my belief. That's why I met that individual at the 666, and they said, thank you for not being afraid. And I was like, oh, I don't got nothing to fear because I was sent a messenger. Because what I say in the beginning when we talk about Lucifer. Lucifer is not the fucking devil, okay? Lucifer, in my opinion, if you want to go for an aspect of me, fine. Just like Azrael, the angel of death, what I talked about in my other live. Okay, I don't discriminate. You got a bad reputation, you got a good reputation, I don't care. You cool with me? We cool. Whether it's in the ethers or in 3D, I don't give a fuck. Lucifer sent a messenger to me saying, you're absolutely right. There is nothing to fear because everyone was fucking afraid. Everyone was afraid. Even people I knew personally, they were afraid of it. They didn't catch nothing because remember, I didn't believe in it, but I still had the belief that they would be afraid or believing in it. So they were. But that right there really solidified that I create my own experience because during that time, I was having a field day. I was having a great time. There was no traffic. Gas was super cheap. There was no one in the streets. It was fucking fantastic. It was fucking fantastic. It was great. Oh my God. And other motherfuckers were like terrified. And I wasn't scared to go outside. I would like, for what? Why am I scared to go outside and breathe oxygen? Make it make sense. It's not, the math ain't mathing, my dude. So that whole thing really, that's when I have to say solidified that I'm creating my own reality because the entire fucking earth was under this assumption, and that's all it was. It was an assumption. This is my opinion. This is for entertainment purposes. I just want to say because I don't know what I'm talking about, and I've been drinking a cut water, so no one listen to anything that I have to say because it's all a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Because it's for entertainment purposes, because everything is, right? So the fucking global narrative was one thing, but because I didn't participate in it, my experience was so amazing. I was like, yo, I did that for me. So this goes to show you, anyone in the fucking chat, It doesn't matter what XYZ is doing. Doesn't matter what ABC is saying. It doesn't matter none of that. The whole world could be in one assumption, and if you don't believe it, it cannot present itself to you. And I have lived it in those circumstances, which, I mean, whatever the fuck it was, whatever happened, I was sent a fucking messenger of Lucifer that said, no, like, thank you for not being afraid. And what happened? Nothing. I had a great time. If anything, during that time when, oh man, this is something, I don't know if I should even say that. I mean, I'm not embarrassed of nothing, because, you know, I love everything about myself, but I'm gonna tell you this. There was a point when shit started reopening. You remember that? And everyone wanted you to, you know what I'm saying? They wanted to, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know, I'm all for substances. Of course I am. But substances that I want. I'm not going to take a substance that I don't need. I don't know what the, like, no, I don't, you know what I'm saying? And then you couldn't go to certain places unless you had that card. You know what I'm talking about? So I was like, okay, I guess I ain't going nowhere. I was good because, you know what? And this is how everything is all connected. Because a few years prior to that, I had learned how to do my own gel nails. Because listen, I'm a fucking diva. At the end of the day, yes, it's third dimensional, but I'm a fucking diva. So I'm going to always have my nails did. And my toes. Because that's how I roll. Okay? I don't care if I'm just sitting at home. I like it for me. Okay? I had learned how to do my own gel nails, so I had all the equipment. So like the nail salon, oh no, well you have to have whatever to get in. No, okay, well then I don't need to give you my fucking money then. I could do it myself. So I had learned that a few years ago, not knowing that it would come in handy, that I would have all the supplies to do my fucking nails, because I always keep my nails like this, which I don't think they're long, but individuals say that they're long, but I don't think they are. I think they're just regular because I'm used to them. Whatever, it's all perception. So I was able to do my gel nails. I had a fucking foldable, like, elliptical machine. So going to the gym, okay, I can't go to the gym unless I have the card. Okay, fine, good, I have an elliptical. I don't do nothing at the gym anyway aside from the treadmill, so I'm good. Keeping up with the cardio, keeping up with the nails, fine. I have my groceries delivered. Cool. I would, man, this is a part, I'm not embarrassed, but it's kind of fucking funny, okay? And this is how I know I love myself. Because I didn't step foot, like, it was like, that shit went on, and it was like a season. I did not step foot outside until it was a completely different season. Like, it was legit winter time. There was like no leaves on the trees and shit. The next time I came out, when they started getting more lenient with it, it was like spring. It was like the leaves are on the tree. Like, it was a whole fucking season. I didn't fucking leave. I just stayed in. And what did I do during that time? I was by myself. I might have had a gentleman caller or a few, but you know what I mean? They came to see me. I'm not going nowhere, because I ain't, like, okay. So I was just home. And I was researching, because I was like, there's nothing else to do, really. You know what I mean? So I was home. I didn't fucking leave. Everything was good. And then I started researching all this occult shit. And that is what really made me know and experience. Because I was like, if I can be at that point where mentally I'm not even checked into like a global narrative, wow. And that's how I looked at all my, let's say 3 months. At least 3 months, it might have been more. I don't give a fuck. I love my own company. I'm good. I'm good with that. Okay, I'm fucking lit as fuck. Okay, I had my food, I had my drinks, I had my eddies, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was good. You know what I mean? I had my foldable elliptical, I was doing my nails, whatever. It was what it was, okay? And I remember doing extensive research, and that's all I would do. I'd wake up and I would fucking do research until I went to sleep. I would eat, I would go on the elliptical, I was doing all that. I went outside the next, and it was a totally different season. And I found that symbolic as well. I was like, wow. It's a different season, because after that, I was not the same motherfucker. And like, the only thing I can compare that to is like the first time I hung out with my boy Gus, Fun Gus, you know who I'm talking about. After that, I was not the same. And after that whole shit, the research that I did, going down rabbit hole after rabbit hole of occultism and all this shit, and what, like, maritime law, and like how the world, like, whatever, I was not the same. So I was like, okay. I was like, that's interesting, because whatever the fuck that and this is my opinion, okay, as totally non-professional, you know, I'm professional at being myself, but so when that happened, like, I was into the reality co-creation right before that. Like I said, I had been, you know, studying with a psychic, and I had been, you know, I believed in that. But then when I started doing the research, dude, this is like more than 3 months of research where I did not leave. I didn't fucking step outside. Okay? Legit. So when someone even is like, I want to manifest a text message, I just, maybe part of it is a judgment, but I'm like, that's your ego talking. That's exactly what that is. You don't want a text message. Your ego wants instant gratification. You don't know it because you don't see past the ego. So the way that I talk about this stuff is like, it to me, it's very basic, right? Just on the law of assumption. So I started getting into Neville. I would listen to the Neville books because I wasn't fucking doing nothing. I had a great time. I don't know what the fuck I was doing, okay? I didn't even have my dog at this point. He had already, you know, he was non-corporal at this point. So I was just there by myself, doing this shit, having a grand old time, okay? And do you know how many stories I heard of people who, like, it didn't hit them well, where they couldn't go to work, they couldn't see anyone, they couldn't do anything, and they went into despair and all, and like, you know, I don't, everyone's experience is different, right? But for me, and I'm not knocking any of those experiences again, but I'm like, wow, it was like a literal, I did not leave my home for a season, and I was content with nothing but me and my fucking research and doing my nails and doing like I am the Lord. What the fuck did I need at that point? Everything I needed was already there. I already had the skills of something that would have upset my ego to do my nails. I already had the skills. I didn't need a nail salon. I was doing it. I had the fucking UV gel and everything. I had my fucking elliptical because I love my cardio. Boom. I had everything I needed. I had the internet. I can do my research. Yes, I mean, I was like talking to people like on the phone and text. Like I said, I had a few gentlemen callers, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, that's it. That is the God state. Because the whole fucking world is shut down. 3D shit. That's going to make or break a motherfucker. Okay? And I know people were still going to work and stuff like I'm not saying that. But there were some people that they didn't take that very well. And there was some like me, they were like, yeah, this is great. This is what I'm doing. So at that juncture point, which is what I'm trying to say, individuals were kind of presented with a choice, because in every moment there's always a choice. So you could either go this way or you could go that way. And I found that whole narrative shifted a lot of individuals. And that's just part of the Matrix program, because like I said, it happened 100 years before, right? It happened 1347, 1666 in Europe. Not the exact thing, but you know what I mean. So you are either going to look at the outside circumstances and say, what? Like, oh my God, it's all 3D, my dude. All of that. Going to the gym, going to the grocery store, going to get your nails done, going to, right? All of that shit was shut down. Now you take away the 3D, all you have left is you. And I was living like that before. I was living like that before. I'm like, oh, it's my world. So it didn't affect me to the way that you would think it would affect someone, right? It didn't. So that whole situation, from what I've noticed, again, this is my perception, it either shaped you into something negative, or it shaped you into something positive, or you're like, okay, whatever, like, I don't know, you're maybe very third dimensionally inclined. You're kind of like, it just is what it is. But I noticed that, because after that, there were individuals that were changed. They were changed for a life that I know personally, okay? Not, I mean, maybe me, but I don't want to say me, but like that changed me, because I was like, yo, you take away everything in the 3D that someone enjoys doing. All they have left is them, and they're, wow, like, dude, you have nothing to do but be with yourself. And if you cannot be with yourself, and this is what I'm saying, even with manifestation, my dude, if you keep looking to the outside for an answer, I want a text message so I can feel like I exist. Fuck off. Fuck off. Seriously. Fuck off. You don't want a text message. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to your fucking self. You don't want a goddamn text message. You trying to feel validated for whatever the fuck reason. And that's not what you really want. So you lying to yourself. So then I don't know. You're still under the spell of the 3D. Okay? And this is not saying anyone is better or worse, but anyone who is just concentrated, like they turn to manifestation for some superficial reason. You need to understand that it's a lifestyle, and it's happening in your mind, and is only happening in your mind. And this is why some individuals, they went through that narrative, they believed it, they altered things about themselves to conform. There are individuals that to this day they're still affected by it. There are individuals that emancipated themselves entirely because they're like, yo, I'm checked out of that matrix, whatever the fuck. My dude, you don't want a text message. No, you don't. This is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle. It has been taught, but the knowledge has been hidden. It's called occult, and it's made to instill fear in the ego because it is unfamiliar, and the ego doesn't like things that are not familiar. That's all. So you looking at the 3D for anything, right? If I'm like, oh man, I couldn't get my nails done because the salons, whatever. Okay, if I was going to base it on that, then, man, that would have been a different story entirely. But do you see how everything is always prepared in advance for those who already walk the path and they know who they are? Because I was into this before that. This is just like the solidification of it. I was prepared, and fine, you just say nails are superficial. Yes, they are. They fucking are. But you know what? They're important to me, and I'm allowed to have superficial things that are important to me. I like having my nails and my toes done. Okay? It was already prepared before I would even need it. I had the skills. I had the tools. I was able to do my nails at home because that was the only thing that was really, I was like, what's happening? Because I remember talking to some of my friends, and they're like, "What? How are you doing your nails?" And I would show them the fucking gel thing. They're like, "Oh, shit." It was prepared for me because my higher self or God or whatever, I'm telling you. So, and I had some weird experiences, and this has come back to the psychic and the intuition shit, but I don't want to get too much into that. But I had some weird experiences prior to that occurring that were very odd, that now looking back, I'm like, oh, they were like kind of like a, signs follow, they don't proceed. It was kind of like showing me what was going to happen, but I wasn't aware of it at the time. But maybe that's a story for another day. But I had some weird experiences leading up to that. And I was like, something's off here. And later that happened. But anyway, in terms of the manifestation, okay, that to me is a perfect example of the 3D cannot bring you happiness if you don't have that within you already. It can't. Because to someone, even hearing that, yo, you sat alone by yourself for a fucking entire season. Yeah, I fucking did. I had a great time. Because I love my company. I love me. Fuck yeah. I jerked off a lot looking at myself. I did my elliptical. Hell yeah, I had a great time. Because I love me. I don't need something on the outside. The outside is nice, but I'm the one that has to be content, and contentment doesn't come from an outside source. So you don't want a text message. You fucking don't. I don't know why I keep going back to that, but... And I came into manifestation through like the spiritual community, okay? And, you know, because like I said, I was doing the psychic training, I was doing all that, but then when I really, like Neville, I have to say, like, this is why I resonate with Neville Goddard, because, hey, Shelly, what is up, gorgeous? Thank you for joining. I just went on a crazy-ass sermon. Woo! But with Neville Goddard, when I was, like, really listening to his books and shit, it fucking clicked. And I remember the first time that I read the Kybalion was, like, a few years prior to that. And I understood it, but then I reread it during that time, because what the fuck else was I doing? And I was like, oh, I know what they mean. I know exactly what the fuck they mean. And there's something, I forget what the exact quote was, but they basically said something like, those who have power in like the higher dimensions control the lower dimensions. And I saw that so clearly when that situation happened, because if I'm the one that's casting the spell, whatever it is, I'm above that because I'm the one that's casting it down. Remember, Corinthians, fuck yeah, casting down imaginations. I'm casting that spell, so I'm perceiving it already. And remember, everything is up for my interpretation. I'm perceiving that my spell is going to work. It's going to hit whoever is going to hit, because I'm aware that I'm the one doing that. So if I have an awareness that I'm able to manipulate someone, that's what it's going to be. And that is how true magic is. It comes back to self. You have to rely on yourself, because that's all you fucking have. All you have is your awareness. That's all you have. You have nothing else. Yeah, you might have things in 3D. But look what I just said. Look, that whole fucking shit that happened. Yeah, shit was closed. You weren't going to the club on Saturday night. You fucking weren't. What else is there to do? Be with you. So... your word shall not return to you void. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, hey, Mr. Android. Thank you for popping in. So, because all you have is your awareness, when you are looking at a screen, okay, you have to imagine that it's like not real. It's only real if you accept it as being real. And that's how a magician fucking thinks. Because the magician is all about illusion, right? Because when you're operating in the fourth dimension, you can manipulate energy to a way that someone that is operating from a third dimensional vantage point cannot. Not because they can't, because they can, but they choose not to because they're stuck in the third dimensional vantage point. So when you're operating above any narrative, whether it's a narrative that's globally, whether it's a narrative that's going on in your mind, whether it's a narrative that someone close to you tried to install. Ooh, you love my chrome nails, Shelly. Yeah, I like them too. I just went on a sermon about doing my own gel nails. I don't, maybe if you see it on the YouTube when it's posted, but I went into a whole sermon with that, Shelly. So when you are the magician, right, which is occult knowledge, it really teaches you, even the Kybalion. The Kybalion is written for magicians, okay? Because it says the lips of wisdom are closed aside from the ears of understanding, or whatever the fuck it says, right? Ooh, yeah, Shelly, love it, love it. So, it's like, when you are the magician, okay, that's you. You have to have that belief and knowledge in yourself that you are the magician and you're able to manipulate the thing. And that's the same thing as manifestation. It's the exact same thing, because when you're manifesting, and you're always manifesting, it's coming from you, but you just are taught that it's not coming from you, so you don't perceive yourself as powerful. So you're still the magician, but you're giving your magic powers to the 3D. That is exactly what it is. So the whole entire universe could be saying something, but you are the universe, and you're like, oh, well, I don't choose to participate in that. And you don't participate in it, it cannot present itself to you. You be chilling. That's why, like, when people try to talk about, like, I don't know, 3D things, like, I kind of tune out. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, okay, yeah, damn, that's crazy, cool. Like, I can't, because I'm just, my awareness is not there, but I respect that their awareness is there. So I don't, I'm very happy that I have a circle around me that is very open to the things that I'm into, because I couldn't have a third dimensional conversation. How is the fucking Lakers game? I don't give a shit. Why do you care? Are the Lakers paying you no, okay, then why do you care? You're paying to go to the Lakers game. Okay. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, if you're into that, you're into that, but, like, you care so much about something that has nothing to do with you. Like, I'm confused already. I'm confused. Make it make sense. I care about things that have to do with me. I don't care about the fucking Lakers. What? Oh, the Bulls. They have, like, and if you're into that, if it's a hobby, that's fine. Like, my nails are a hobby. Sure, they're a hobby. I care about that. But I'm not centering my entire universe around my nails. It's not happening. You know what I mean? So it's like everything. And another good book, which I forget the exact quote, but Earl Nightingale has a book. And I remember and it's like a short book too. I think they have the audios on YouTube for free. And he talks about everything that is worth having was given to us for free, and he's talking about, like, your imagination and the creative power of imagination. So I'm like, it all comes within you. You have the creative power. Everyone is given an imagination, but you're programmed to not use your imagination, and then that takes away your magical powers because you don't believe in it, because you're programmed to believe in the 3D. So then the occult knowledge that comes in, where I said you're walking across the checkerboard of white and black, which is just a symbolism of duality. You're God. You're walking above the duality, and you're saying all is well. Everything is perfect. I'm the Lord, and there is none else. Okay? So, I don't know. What the fuck? Earl Grey. Oh my God. Make it make sense. Oh, Shelly, yo, I know you love the Kabbalion. I know if you've ever listened to Earl Nightingale, Earl Nightingale, not Earl Nightingale. I Cutwater talking. Shelly, I'm having another Cutwater. Only this time it's a lime margarita, not a mango margarita. So you showed up where I'm like Twizzy Prime up in here. You know what I'm saying? But Earl Nightingale. Yeah. Wow. Wait, Jane. Where's Jane? Jane will know. Jane, when I was talking before, did I make the character I made up? I named him Earl. Did I name him Earl? Oh my God. Was that the character? Oh, thank you, Jane. Oh, see, Jane went to shower, and Jane intended that when she was done with her shower, the live would still be going on. And see, I intended that Jane would have the answer that I'm seeking. So we manifested each other. Hell yeah. You're drinking that Earl Grey tea? Nice. Fuck yeah. So I made a character called Earl something, whatever, in the beginning of this, Shelly. You'll see it on YouTube. And then now I said Earl Nightingale. So that book, what someone asked, Mr. Android, I think it was you, the Earl Nightingale book, because see, everything is all connected. So I think someone here is meant to read the Earl Nightingale book, because I said that name randomly. I wasn't even thinking about Earl Nightingale, but now I started thinking about it. Oh, right. Earl Nightingale. He is a Pisces, by the way, for those of you that are into astrology. Okay, cool. He kind of reminds me of Neville Goddard. Interesting. Why they all come out around that same time? That's interesting. Florence Scovel Shinn, Earl Nightingale, Neville Goddard. They all, like, what was going on then? The Strangest Secret. That is the book that I'm talking about. Yes, exactly. M. The book is called The Strangest Secret, and he talks about a lot of that. I called Earl Grey a drunk man. Oh, I said Earl. Earl was like the CEO of $1 million company, a tech startup, and then he got hung over one day, but that didn't take away from him being Earl, the multimillionaire. Okay, cool. Oh, Shelly, you like Pisces? You know what's so interesting? And I've said this before, I don't even know any Pisces, I don't think. Pisces and Scorpio elude me. I have no idea why. I know every fucking sign but Scorpio and Pisces. Yeah, it's really a short book. It's like so quick, and I'm sure you could, find it on YouTube. You got a Pisces. There's Pisces in the house. Oh shit. Yeah, it's so weird. I don't know why I don't most of the people that are in my close circle are either air or earth signs. It's very fucking interesting. Oh, Virgo sun, Sag moon, Sag rising. Hell yeah. You got that Sagittarius rising just like me, Jane. What's up? Oh, Capricorn. Nice. I love air and earth signs because I don't consider them emotionally inclined, and I mean that as a compliment. I don't like people who are whoa, you know what I mean? And even me as a fucking Aries, I can see that because I'm always super hype. But for me to deal with someone in close proximity that's always super hype, I'm huh? I don't know what's going on here, but Cancer, nice. I love Cancers. Cancers are the water sign that are around me for whatever reason. Not Pisces and Scorpio. I don't know why. Woo. Fire signs. Yeah, I get along with Cancer. Sag rising, Cancer moon. Woohoo! Capricorns. Nice. Pisces. Wow. There's Pisces in the house. Fuck yeah. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore, honestly. Do I like the lime? Yes, I do. Ooh, Aries sun, Aqua moon, Libra rising. Nice. That'll give that Aries sun a nice breeze. Oh, wow, there's a lot of Pisces here. Oh, shit. Most of the people that I know are Aquarius. I guess it makes sense astrologically, but the real secret of your reality is your God of your reality. There is no else. That's true. That's very, very true. I went on a fucking sermon and I honestly don't even remember what the fuck I talked about. I think it was, I'm not even gonna try to fucking, this is why these go on YouTube. I'm feeling very, I don't know if tipsy is the word, but I definitely feel it. And I had half of the can. I had half of the can. Seriously. What does that say about me? That says I'm a super fucking lightweight. That says. Oh, Shelly, I can't wait to listen back because I don't remember what the fuck I was even saying. Ooh, there goes my waters. I have my fizzy water and I have my flat water because that's how we fucking do with the cut water. Fuck yeah. So Shelly, we went into a whole lot. We went into angels and demons and demonic possession Yes, Saturn. Thank you, Tan. It started with the meaning of Saturn and Christmas. Look, if I, like, we we went into a lot. You like this more than, ooh, there goes my tripod. Oh, okay. You like this more than manifestation content? You know, the thing is, it kind of is manifestation content in a way. Because it's been talked about, but, you know, the knowledge has been hidden. So what are we going to do about it? You know, we're going to revive a motherfucker tonight, you know? The angels and demons. Oh, hell yeah. Shelly, you know what I was talking about when a demon tried to possess me and I fought it off? That's right. That's right. And now demons are just, we all cool. We all friends up in this. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about The Strangest Secret in the Kabbalion. Yeah, The Strangest Secret, great book. Earl Nightingale, The Kabbalion, written by the 3 initiates. I fucking love that book. That's like that, the Bible, as far as like manifestation OG content, and then I really resonate with Neville Goddard content. I just I don't know. I really, and Florence Scovel Shinn. Oh my god. Battling demons, literally. Oh my god. Well, you got this, Shelly. I mean, you're not battling no one. Just make friends with whoever it is, and they won't be a demon anymore, right? It's all perception. Everyone is my friend, you know, or else they ain't gonna be around me. You know what I mean? Hell yeah, Neville. And he's a Pisces, Shelly. Fuck yeah. Why do you call him Lucifer? Isn't he? Oh, I know what you mean. Because in Latin, when I started channeling in Latin, I specified that I would channel classical Latin, and classical Latin C's are pronounced like K's, so they're pronounced a hard C like cock, and they're not pronounced a soft C like flaccid, and that's how I remember it. So the pronunciation to me, because of classical Latin, how I started channeling it when I intended, it's Lucifer, because the C is hard like cock and not soft like flaccid. How about them phonics? No, but I mean, that's how I remembered it though. Cause like hard like cock is a hard C, but then you have flaccid, so it's like a soft C, and flaccid, I mean, with like, come on now, come on, that's how I remember. That's how I remember. It's true though. Exactly. If I was a language teacher, yeah, I mean, I like to keep shit entertaining, because I get bored as fuck when someone is just monotonous. I'm like, oh my god, like, have you no personality? Like, how do you not, like, I mean, I don't know, that shit is weird to me. Spitting bars, oh my god, that's so funny. You remember demand and supply graph says demand is demon and supply is high. What? I don't, wait, what, Jane? Demand, supply is high. I don't even, can you elaborate on that? Because I'm super confused. That sounds lit as fuck, but I'm super confused. I don't know if it's a cut water. Demand goes down, supply goes up. Oh, finance. Oh, see, that's where, that's my one thing with like finances and I'm confused as fuck. Anyone talking about finance or math, I'm like, what? Like, I can't interpret. I have no idea. Anyway, useless with numbers. Oh my god. Yeah, and anytime someone starts talking about like that type of stuff, like finance, I'm like, huh? Like, I don't know what's happening. I don't care what's happening. I just say I want this amount of money. I pick a number. Okay, it appears like that. That's as far as my fucking financial interest goes. I'm like, okay, it is what it is, you know. How much you got in your account? Exactly. Yeah, your billions are in I'm so not a finance person. Like I'd be tuned the fuck out if someone is talking to me about finance. I'm like that. I'm happy for you that you're into that. I don't know what the fuck is happening, but okay. Like I mean, pick an amount. Shelly, for you be euros. You pick an amount of euros that you want. Yeah, that's mine. I claim it as mine. Poof, be gone. How it gets there, no one knows. Magic, alchemy, you know. Okay, this cut water is really, it's something else. I don't know if I sound like I'm loopy, but I think it's getting to that time. Euro Million jackpots. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Do I ever get hungover? No, not in years, because I don't drink like that. And I make it a point to not drink like that. And I don't even think I could drink like that, even if I wanted to, because I'm such a lightweight. But I do remember those days when that would happen, and it was not fucking pleasant. And I don't even know who that individual is anymore. I don't identify with them. So who was that? I don't even know. Whew. I'm one of the best reality creation coaches ever. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. 2 drinks and you're... Yo, I mean, Shelly, there was a cut water, and this is like a thick cut water. Like, it was a bigger can than usual, which is a lime one. So I was like, let me try the lime instead of the mango. And I have half of it, and I mixed it with fizzy water, and I'm like, wow. But whatever, you know, it is what it is. It makes you ill for 2-3 days. Oh my god. Well, definitely you don't want to intend that. You want to intend that you always recover quickly from anything that is ailing you. I have no, this chat went like all around the town. I'm not even joking. Like it like we started off a cult, and then I think it just kind of went that way. But I mean, it's all good, you know. We're all enlightened in here, you know. Gotta do our cut water version of the yo Wyclef Jean. Hell yeah, I want to do that. I want to do the cut water version. And we still had to dress up in the medieval gear with the cone hat and the balloon shorts. I'm so excited. My trance music playlist, there's so many different songs on there. It would just depend, like, the style you like, because I view trance as like a blanket, and like all of the different types of trance are different though. Like, some have vocals, some are like harder, some are like kind of hard house. Like, so I don't even know where I'd begin with that, because I don't know what you would want. Hell yeah, we doing it. Classic trance 90s. Talk about ancient aliens who created the first human beings. I mean, the thing that I heard about that show was that it was like scripted, which, I mean, I'm not shocked, because it's like, I mean, is there anything not scripted? It's made for TV. It's entertainment, right? But I wanna make a show where I come on there, and then I just, right, because that dude, the famous dude, and that dude I believe is a Pisces too. I don't know how the fuck I know that. The dude that's always like, you see the memes is like aliens, and like his hands are like this. I think he's a Pisces, and he would be a Pisces because he's in his zone talking about what he wants. Cool, good for him. I want to make a show, and then the answer is always going to be, I'm the Lord and there is none else. I'll make a meme out of it, and I'll be like this. And the quote is just to be, I'm the Lord and there is none else. So someone's going to say, I want to manifest a text message. I'm the Lord and there is none else. That's to be the answer. Like that's it. Okay, so manifest a text message then. Since the Lord has nothing better to do than manifest a fucking text message. That's how I'm be like, I'm the Lord and there is none else. That's my answer. Guy with the exploded hair. Yo, I do like that show too, seriously. I don't remember his name, but I heard that like that whole show was scripted, and they found him like, and he didn't even have anything to do with anything. They just found him randomly, and I guess because he has like that on camera persona. Because he was like, I mean, I had to say, whether he's a paid actor, whatever, I don't know, but he was entertaining to listen to, right? Like he had a personality, and that's what he made the show. Because you don't remember no other motherfucker on there but him. What is his name? Let's see. Ancient Aliens dude. This should be fun. This should be so much fucking fun. Oh shit. This shit is... Come on now. Woo. Ancient Aliens. He's the first dude. Oh my god, this is so fucking funny. What is his name? I think his name is and I do not know how to speak Greek because my tongue don't twist like that. Giorgio A. Sokalos. Yeah, I probably butchered that, but I know Latin, I don't know Greek, so I mean that I'm not even gonna try. So yeah, they were talking about the Anunnaki, and I've channeled Ishtar. I forget if they call her Inanna or Ishtar. I've channeled her. Really cool. Marduk. Yeah, I think he was with the Assyrians, which are closely related to the Sumerians. Yes, that I don't know the name. I don't know how you pronounce it. I do not know how to pronounce that name. Yeah, Venus, Aphrodite. Exactly. The same thing. Jane knows what I'm talking about. Jane knows, okay? Because they took that, the Venus, Aphrodite, they took that from Ishtar, Inanna. That's all they did. Just like the Bible took the fucking story of Noah's Ark from the fucking Sumerians, the Epic of Gilgamesh. It's just replay, right? Matrix. Things repeat. They're rebranded. They're remarketed, yeah? Just like, ooh, you're Assyrian. You speak it nice, Jane. I fucking love that. You want to channel... Shelly, you are channeling. Hell yeah, you're channeling. Fuck yes. You're channeling your billions of euros. That's what you're fucking channeling. I'm looking over here. Someone else says they're tipsy in the chat. Hell yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying that. So I don't know what the fuck were we talking? We were talking about something before this. I don't remember what. But you know what else, Jane? You want to know? My chat froze now. I don't know if it's just... Oh, I have to scroll. I'm such a space cadet when it comes to 3D things. But Jane, if you're still in the chat, you want to talk about trance music? You know what gets me in the fucking mood is Baroque music. Yo. I'll be jamming out to fucking Baroque music. Oh my god. I just found this one, and this is a song that I didn't know what it was. Like, I didn't know the title or the artist until just recently, because I saw it on TikTok, the irony of all places, right? And it is it's by Johann Sebastian Bach. And it's Suite number 2 in B minor. And then the song is called, I don't even see it, Badenery. I don't fucking know. It's like, I guess it would be German, right? He's German. I don't know how to speak that either. Badenery. I fucking butchered that. But I heard this song in like a Baroque mix. Because I'll be listening, that's how I roll. I'll be listening to Baroque mixes. Fuck yeah. And I heard it and I was like, what is that? And then I saw it on TikTok and I was like, this is the fucking song. Oh my god, I'm listening to it right now. It's so fucking lit. Look at this. I mean, can we just look at this? Oh, you can't even see his face. That looks kind of creepy. Never mind. Okay, so there's a pic of Johann Sebastian Bach, and he was wearing his white wig in the fucking, you know what I'm saying, the Baroque era. And I heard that they were all wearing those white wigs. Well, I don't know if it's true. I wasn't there, but they were all wearing those big white wigs because hygiene was so poor back then that everyone had lice and they all had to shave their heads, and that's why they were all wearing the white powder wigs, because no one had hair because they had to shave their heads because of the lice, because of the hygiene. And it circles back to what I said about motherfuckers taking shit in all the corners of the Palace of Versailles, because I heard that too. And I don't know, I wasn't there, but that's purportedly how it goes, right? Just like I was never at a Diddy party, but purportedly there are a lot of butts. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I'm just going by what's out there, right? It's a narrative, but sure, you know. But that's what I heard anyway. Fun fact. Oh my God. Powdered wig to the Wyclef Jean Bible. Yo, seriously. People are saying it's to this day it stinks in the Palace of Versailles. Oh my God, that's horrendous. No, and that's why, yo, these motherfuckers in the Baroque era, I'm gonna just call it that, they would carry bouquets of like flowers, right? Because everyone fucking stunk. And so they would carry the bouquet of flowers so they wouldn't smell anyone. That's what I heard. I don't know, I wasn't there. But like, goddamn, man, I have a thing with odors. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, I have a thing with odors. Like, I have a thing. That's all I'm gonna say. I would not be able to do that. Imagine you going in, you trying to smash a homie after the Baroque concert, and then they gotta take their big powder white wig off. They taking their stockings off, and all of a sudden, like, an aroma hits you. Like, goddamn, what the fuck were they doing back then? Opium? Like they were doing that from the opium flower, I think. Because what else did they have back then? They were taking the opium, like, oh, okay, it's plausible now that I can participate in this. Like, I don't fucking know, dude, but like, goddamn. Yo, seriously, ain't no deodorant. I mean, no, for real. Like, that shit was wild. I heard. So that's, I'm like, I like the music, but like, imagine sitting in the concert hall, hearing that jam, and motherfuckers around you stinking. You just, oh shit, my flowers. Oh shit, my flowers. Like, god damn. That's why they invented perfumes. I don't know. I don't even know why. I mean, I have no idea. I've never heard why they invented perfumes, but I wouldn't be shocked. But then again, a perfume, I know all of you in the chat have experiences where there's a motherfucker and they don't bathe. And it's evident that they don't bathe. And I'm not saying someone you know personally, maybe someone you come in contact with. And they don't bathe, but they put on a lot of perfume or cologne, and you still smell the undertone of the stench underneath that. Oh my God. That's something else now. That's something else. Because they thought back then, as purported from what I've read, they thought water was like unhygienic, so they didn't bathe. And then I remember hearing someone, some royal person, I think it might have been the Marie Antoinette or some king, I don't fucking know, one of them around that time. It was like, and this royal person was so into hygiene that they had their servants draw them a bath twice a year. Wow. That needed a moment of silence. I'd rather visit a Diddy party because, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. That shit's wild. Twice a year, yeah. Mm-hmm. They said, I forget who they said that about, but there was some royal person, and they were so into hygiene that they bathed twice a year. I was like, oh, all right. So that's why, my physical vessel is here during these times where bathing is common. You know what I mean? Because, like, man, that's something else. Like, that's really something else. The King of England twice a year, yes. That's what, I wasn't there, so I don't fucking know. I'm glad I wasn't there. Can you imagine? I don't even care to remote view something like that. Oh my God. Like, it's just, Man, and motherfuckers were fucking and sucking, bathing, and that was royalty bathing twice a year. So what was everyone else doing? I mean, I don't fucking know. Nope, we ain't doing that shit. Mm-mm. They ain't even wipe. Yo, oh my god. Oh my god. What were they wiping with? Did they not wipe? I don't know. See, that's something I didn't even dive into. I think I might dive into it now just because I'm curious. Because, like, they didn't have running water, right? The toilet bowl was invented, I think, the late 1800s. So in the Baroque era, like, they would shit in pots. They would. And then, like, yo, Shelly, I know you're not in England, but I don't know if they like would teach this because you're from the EU. But I heard that in England there was like the River Thames, I believe that's how you pronounce it, that it was so like infested with like shit and whatever from like all the people that there was like the great stink of London or some shit. I know it's not Ireland, but like I figured the EU, I don't know if that was like taught in the history because I wasn't taught that in history over here. I had to find that shit out on my own upon my excursions doing weird things. It was, right? It was fucking contaminated. Like, what the fuck? Like, goddamn. I mean, I don't know. Because, like, at this point, I'm like, look at all this beautiful music. Look at all those beautiful paintings, like the fucking artwork and the Sistine Chapel with the shit on the fucking ceiling. And motherfuckers, they use running water for nothing. Like, what the hell? Oh my God. You know what I mean? I have no fucking idea. So fucking crazy. So fucking crazy. But you know what I like looking at? I like looking at paintings of Bosch because I'm just like, oh my God. Like that, this is before the Baroque era, but I love looking at the Bosch paintings of like all of the weird shit that he fucking painted. And that's like my safe space. Like I think he's like 1500s though, but I'm like, damn, like you were in the studio painting for fucking hours with the stench. Like that is crazy. Is it in France as well? Is there people just shitting there before the Olympics? Wait, what? I have no idea. What do you mean, LM? I'm so confused. Reminds me you took a picture of the cathedral. Oh, stinky up the studio. Exactly. That's what they were doing. Yeah, show me the cathedral, Shelly. I remember that. You never sent me. I'm so excited. Oh, the River of France. Oh my God, it is? Are you seriously? What? What is the river in France? I have no idea what but I wouldn't be shocked if that's how they were, if that's what they were doing, if they're just tossing everything in the fucking, you know what I mean? Now I have this beautiful masterpiece by Johann Sebastian Bach in my ear. All this Europe talk makes you excited to spend your manifested summer in Spain, Europe. Hell yeah. I mean, exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna spend some winter time in Australia. I don't know how that's happening, but let's just. When you guys see me live streaming from the Gold Coast in Australia, that's right. However it happened, it fucking happened, you know. Oh my God. So fucking amazing. And then the other song, one of my favorite songs, the most relaxing one from Bach is It's called Air on the G-string, and it just makes me fucking giggle whenever I think about it, because I'm like, air on the G-string, like damn, motherfuckers weren't bathing. They were getting freak nasty with G-strings back then. Like, and then I pictured Diddy Party all over again, and I'm picturing dudes with like white wigs and the fucking, but that's where my mind goes, clearly. But anyway, so that's the one that I like, Air on the G-string. And I remember I would just listen to this on repeat, and I would clean like my entire home, and then I would just like think about things that I want, and that song really puts me in the fucking zone. I'm like, oh my god, because it's just so melodious and flowing. And like Baroque music is kind of like trance music in that like it just flows. Like it's not like, I don't know, it doesn't have like any hard hits really. It's just kind of like, wee. Granny panties. Oh my god. I don't know if they were even wearing drawers back in the day, honestly. Like, I don't know if they were wearing drawers back in the day, to be honest. Oh my god. I think they called them bloomers or something, didn't they? Let's see. Bloomers. What type of, okay. I think I have to, oh, my phone is about to, yeah. I don't know how long I saw for quite some time. They were commando. Ew, oh my god, so that's like not even a layer of something to cover the stench. What type of underwear did people wear during, I love how this manifestation chat like segued, but cool, during the Baroque period? Let's find out together, guys. This is what I've been doing on the regular. During the Baroque period, people wore several layers of undergarments made primarily of linen, wool, or silk, depending on social class. Okay. Loose-fitting garment. Oh, they would wear a shift. Oh my god, petticoat, shaping garment, stocking, drawers. Oh, I'm laughing. Okay, guys. Women during the Baroque period generally did not wear underpants, drawers. During this period, the use of drawers only became somewhat more common in the late 18th and early 19th centuries, primarily for modesty when activities like horseback riding or cycling became popular. Wow. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. I mean, you know, sometimes I don't wear drawers. It's okay. I mean, I can, but it really depends on the outfit. You know what I'm saying? But goddamn, that is so fucking crazy. Why did I research that? I don't even know. I mean, this is gonna be like the funniest fucking YouTube upload ever, because anyone that like just randomly like clicks on without seeing any content of mine is gonna be like, what the fuck is happening here? Like, they're gonna have no fucking clue. I had to look it up, Shelly. You know, I had to. I'm an inquisitive ass motherfucker. So I'm like, so motherfuckers are just not wearing drawers. So what, dudes had like balls just hanging and flopping around, like, oh my, no wonder they stunk. You heard, bro, wool. Motherfuckers ain't wearing drawers, and the garments were made of wool and silk. That shit is not breathable. That shit gonna absorb every odor and amplify it. And then they just be walking around with the fucking nose bidet. That's what they were. Was it a bidet? Wow. No, nose bidet is like a neti pot. They were walking, they called them, hold on. My phone is about to die, so I gotta fucking, oh my god. I gotta, hold on. One more thing before we, let's see. No, they're called nosegays. They were called nosegays, not nose bidets. Nosegays meaning a nosegay, a small bunch of flowers, typically one that is sweet scented. There we go. There we go. It's called a nosegay. It was a mini bouquet that they would carry with them. So they walked the fucking gardens of Versailles like, hello, madame. Oh, like, oh my God. So fucking crazy. But, yeah, so my phone wants to be charged because I'm seeing the screen is going dark. So thank you all for joining me on this interesting journey, which I don't even know what the title of this is going to be called. It's going to be called Cut Water. View at your own risk, because we talked about a lot. Yo, seriously, like, that needs a bath. That needs a fucking bath. I was on for 3.5 hours. Oh man. Whew. All right, well, thank you all for joining. I'm going to go get a snack and see about uploading this on YouTube. Love you all. Talk to you later. Bye.